lot of fun. She was one of our first guests, I think.
Are you a fan of Star Wars? Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes? What about beer?
I was
If
on the
so,
Operation Metaverse
this may
thing
be the
for probably
podcast
a
for
good
you.
year.
Brick.
Like, they were the only content creators I followed.
You're talking about again.
T-Money.
Well, we are cutting an introduction for
But
that podcast.
I'm still really.
Do you think we should maybe crack a beer first?
I shouldn't.
Oh yeah, they're great, man. They put out great stuff, and I wish there was an audio version of it, like a podcast version.
Yeah, that's what's hurting me right now. Like for my work commute in the morning, I have this big list of podcasts of all SWH podcasts
Yeah.
I listen to, but I don't listen to them because it's a lot of work to download a YouTube video to listen to it, whereas my podcast app will just go right into it.
Exactly.
All right, welcome to episode 56 of Galaxy of Beeroes. On today's show, we are joined by two-time Premier Kyber Champion and fellow content creator, Calvin Awesome. We recap our GAC seasons, we preview our 3v3 GA season, and we talk about some of the new toons, IG-11 and Kuiil. At the end of the episode, we are going to get an in-depth analysis of the Chapter 9 of The Mandalorian. What was it called? Whatever it was called. The Marshal, yes. I had it written down, and then I was like, I lost it. All right.
All right, we're going to jump into some drinks. Yeah, we got Calvin here, man. Thanks for coming by. We appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, thanks for having me, guys. It's a privilege and an honor.
Awesome, man. We're glad to have you, and hopefully you can impart some of your wisdom. For those of you who don't know, may have heard in the intro, Calvin is a Premier Kyber Champion. He's pretty good at GAC, I guess. He's not too bad. Watched a few.
He's
of
not
his
Darth
streams.
Darket, that's for sure.
No, not quite. Not yet.
You'll get that.
One day.
3 and 9 season.
Caught in a rhodium.
I do, along with my Premier Kyber Champion title, I do also have the Erodium title, so we do have that in common.
That's
you
where
cover all the bases.
Usually stuck, so, yep.
So sweet. We're gonna get into Calvin, learn more about you and what you got going on. But we need to get some drinks first. So, Calvin, you do not drink beer, and that's fine here. As Beeroes, we do not discriminate. We drink all types of alcohol beverages. We are degenerates. We'll drink anything. It doesn't
all
matter.
Shapes and forms.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much everything. We're not gonna maybe enjoy it, but Everclear, fuck it, let's do it.
I like some wine. So you're a fan. You were in Brazil, so you drink a particular type of local wine of Cabernet Sauvignon, right?
Yeah, it's from Serra Gaúcha, which is basically like at a really cool place here in the south, and they produce really good wines. Maybe not something best to say, but it's the cost benefit. I'm not sure how you say that actually is really, really good. It's probably something I buy on the weekly.
Nice. So we couldn't find that here, but we did get our own Cabernet Sauvignon of our own.
Yeah.
How about you, Darket? What'd you get?
I got 19 Crimes. I was trying to find the Snoop Dogg version, but they didn't have it, so I went with the OG 19 Crimes. So
nice.
Also one of the Cabernet Sauvignons, however you pronounce it.
Sauvignon.
Yeah, really not actually. What is that? Is that Italian or French? I should probably know that.
I don't know. That's a good point. Probably French.
It's funny you should ask. I have a whole write-up on it, but I don't really know if we need to get into it on the Beeroes show. I think it is definitely a French.
Okay.
Bordeaux is kind of the region it's from. So, yeah.
Well, let's pour some. Let's drink some and then talk about.
I gotta
our
pop mine
mouthfeels.
open first because I didn't do that yet.
I came prepared. No big deal. I already popped this bad boy. That's a good sound. This is good ASMR. This is a Galaxy of Heroes wine and ASMR podcast now. I didn't know if you guys knew that or not.
I like it. Uh-oh, the cork is splitting. That's not good.
I did.
That's becoming more and more common nowadays, which is more and more annoying.
Poor cork.
I'm doing a dark horse. I wanted to get something that you can get hopefully anywhere, and I haven't been steered wrong by Dark Horse. This is bold, complex oak. Those are the descriptors.
Red wine is red wine.
Yeah, goes down the same. After the second glass, you don't know what the hell you're drinking anymore. You feel great.
Oh yeah.
Wow, look at all these. We got 2 months subscription with Prime by Boski. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Awesome.
Boski.
Curtis Blow and Chad, what's up, man? Thanks for hopping in. And who else we have? Oh yeah, we've got our buddy Byro. Reverse Isles. What's going on, man?
Yo.
He's not going to be watching the show, but he will be. Oh wow, look at all these people subscribing with Prime.
Emote fireworks.
Cool.
You know what?
I don't know what that is, but it sounds cool.
Wow. We're so good at Twitch, we don't even know what's happening. We're just
There's
like,
sounds going off.
Subscriptions.
It's just completely natural to you
The
guys.
Schnaps donated $1,000. Thanks, bud.
Thank you. $1,000. Wow. That can almost pay my mortgage. We'll see.
No. I brought my Bowers Harbor glass for you there, Brick.
Oh, nice.
that's
That's a local brewery or a
Yeah.
winery here in
Yep,
Michigan,
yep.
up north in the Traverse City area.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's cheers to you guys.
Cheers.
Let's have a little beverages here.
Cheers.
I don't know how to
And to all you
give tasting notes on this,
viewers
but
out there.
tastes like red wine.
Just pull out your mouthfeel.
It's
pie
not
chart.
bad.
My wheel? My wheel of mouthfeel?
Definitely bold, complex,
Yep.
and oaky.
Oh, yours is oaky, is it?
Well, that was on the bottle. I don't know if you heard.
Okay.
So I just cited what was on the bottle.
Mine's got like a velvety kind of furry chamois with a little bit of satin, rich, chewy, hard. I'm just reading words off the wheel, like literally taking the wheel and just reading words off of it. I have no idea how to describe wine.
I can translate literally from Portuguese here and tell you that it's soft on the palate and rich in body. I'm not sure if that makes sense.
Sounds accurate. Sounds legit.
It has fruity aromas with bits of vanilla and roasted something. It has a very good structure. I would agree with all of that.
Okay.
Nice. So here's a quick blurb about this big bold wine that I'm drinking here. It's made with grapes. Go figure.
Oh, really?
This Cabernet wine.
There's some cherry
You got
wines
me.
out there that aren't,
Ooh, that sounds good.
Interesting you say that because this features notes of blackberry and black cherry, balanced with hints of dark chocolate and espresso. Now, food
that sounds
pairings.
so good, actually.
Sir, we want to know what the food pairings are. That's what everybody's here to find out.
Yeah,
cheese,
I don't ever just drink wine alone.
meat.
cheese.
You could enjoy it with burgers, steak, or pork chops. So basically, anything that you have, you can drink this with. So.
I got mine a little more specific. Mine pairs well with filet steak with foie gras and truffles, beef Wellington with honey roasted carrots, or if you don't have either of those two things, Korean style beef stir fry and garlic, soy, and sesame. So
That is very specific.
plenty.
Yeah,
Plenty
but
of options.
I would not shoot that one down.
No.
I would eat any of those
they,
things, but who has beef Wellington sitting around?
Did they just read off the back of like a Blue Apron
I think so.
menu for the
Yeah.
month or
Yep,
something?
yep.
You're like,
Hey, if it works.
What's coming this week on Blue Apron, guys? What do we got here in the box? You got beets. All right, goes well with beets.
sure. Some idiot's going to be drinking wine with beets. Great. All right. So we should get in some boosts, boasts, and wine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No beers. Well, Darket may have a beer later, but
I am gonna
he
have a
couldn't
beer
help
later.
himself. You want me to kick it off? You want me to get this party rolling?
Sure, yeah, let's do it.
All right. So in the last 2 weeks, I applied both of Malik's Zetas, which was
That was
nice.
good.
Yeah, he's still only 5-star. He'll be 6 soon, but it
Is
is
he
what
gear
it
11?
is. Yes, he is gear 11.
I don't know. He'll still cause a lot of problems.
Awesome. That makes me feel better. I haven't had him for GAC with both Zetas, so I'm really excited about having him. I put gear 12 on Count Dooku for GAC lock specifically because I am long-term goal going for Sith Emperor, Sith Eternal Emperor Palpatine, but I use him a lot in 3v3 because 3v3 is coming up, and I use him. One of my favorite teams, and we'll talk about our 3v3 stuff later. It's one of our Discord members and friends, Rogue, suggested. It's a Count Dooku lead with Talzin and Zombie. It is
that one's nasty,
dude. It gets so many holds for me. People just underestimate it. And Dooku at gear 12 already, he's a noticeable DPS difference in just that one gear level. I brought him up just one gear level.
And even if they do win, they get like 46 banners, so they have no health and no protection. It's a good comp, especially in the lower divisions, because they don't get the synergy there.
Yeah, and my Talzin is relict, so I think that helps things. And I think people tend to underestimate it. They think I'm probably stupid. They're like, "Why is Dooku in the lead here? Like, what's?"
That's an auto
Must be auto plays, yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But his leadership is so good. You know, when they slip below 100% health, they get healing immunity applied. So,
Plague cuts under it. It's nasty.
I love it. I can't wait to use it. I'm gonna definitely be dropping that team on defense again. And then I was able to bring Sith Marauder up to 7 stars. So I'm going to use him in my Darth Revan team. And I need him for Sith Eternal Emperor. So might as well use him as the 5th member on my Sith team, or my Sith Empire team. Emperor, Empires. There's lots of E words.
There's so many words that are similar in this game now.
Right. It's galactic everything. It's Galactic Arena Challenge. All these things. And then I brought Thrawn up to gear 13. So that was the other big upgrade.
That's a good one
I made. So
I see him all over like the 50 to 75 in arena, just as like a plug and play kind of character to get your climbs taken care of. So
great. I like him too. We'll talk about it again later, but he's part of a Galactic Legend counter. So I figured having him relict, and I'm going to need him anyway for Sith Eternal Emperor. Why not?
Yep.
No, that's just the character that's never going to go out of style. He disabilitates a character, which means he's always going to be good. Regardless of how good they make someone else, he's never going to go out of style.
Right.
Yeah, he rips. I like his capital ship too. I don't know if Tarkin at the end game, like, ultimately is going to be the better choice.
It seems like it, which bothers me. But I mean, at the end of the day, you need both of them for Sith Eternal Emperor, so it's kind of like, okay.
Yeah. All right, Darket. That was it, man. That was probably my shortest post in wine ever.
I got a pretty short one too. Like, I think we're doing the same type of thing. So like, the upgrades we're doing are very focused on specific routes. So it's not like this big expansive list anymore. I got 2 real life boasts that I want to throw out there that I was excited about. Not super big, but I garbage picked a basketball hoop, and I've been balling really hard on that. Just dropping J's and throwing 3-pointers. Took a video of myself.
Nothing but net.
10 or 12 times trying to pull off the Obama 3-pointer, and it didn't go very well. But it's still fun to have like a hoop around to shoot with, and was playing with my daughter a little bit. I was pretty rusty. Can't lie. I was pretty rusty. Even like was getting denied no defender on some layups, but I'll get there. Take a little bit of practice.
There's those invisible defenders you have to watch out for.
Man.
You never know when they're going to strike.
The wind goes a different way. Leaves hit me and just distract me. So that's what it is.
You know what Shaq didn't have to deal with? Environmental issues.
Yeah, you're in a gym. Come on, it's all controlled environment. So yeah, it's tough out here. More important than that, though, I got a new car, so that was a big upgrade. Pretty excited about that. Ours has been kind of falling apart for the last few years, little by little, and they told me that I would need a $1,200 to $1,500 fix along with a new transmission. So I was like, all right, fuck that, turning that baby in, getting something new. All right, back on game stuff. I Relic 5, Gear 13 and Relic 5 Old Ben this morning.
Good one.
Because I'm going towards the Jamal. Got to get everything ready for him. So 30 seconds ago, I Gear 12 Leia. And that's the last thing I needed to do before I could join GAC. Those 2 things, really, Old Ben put me over the 4 million GP mark this morning. So Yep.
You could run a
trying to
machine gun
avoid that.
Leia
Yeah,
in 3v3.
probably
Yeah,
could.
you could.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, 4 million GP. That's super viable. Defense or offense, probably.
Heck yeah, man. Is that it for you?
That's pretty much it for me. Yeah.
All right, Calvin, what were you up to, man?
Okay, so just to clarify, we do real life boosts as well.
Oh yeah.
If you want, yeah, sure.
Okay, so one thing really cool, and this is also slightly free advertisement, but I hit a affiliate in Twitch over this last week, which is really, really cool. Like it's
Nice.
Heck yeah.
it wasn't something I expected, but just between some of the videos and some of my guildmates did some advertising, also being on the Gambit, lots of stuff. But I'm really excited just to take that next step into being a content creator. So that's probably the first one. And
I
then,
just dropped your links too in our chats.
Thank you.
So, and we're gonna have it in the audio version as well. All your Twitch, your YouTube, and your Discord servers. So definitely follow this man.
Oh yeah. Please do check it out. Big thing is Twitch. That's if you have to choose, which I guess you know, go for that one.
Sweet.
But yeah, so that's real life. And then I actually did a lot of upgrades over these last 2 weeks. I think my guild knows this probably better than anyone, but I will go through dry, what's the word? Dry sprouts?
Spells.
Spells, that's the word. Thank you. Dry spells for quite a while, and then you just get a wall of text of upgrades.
Yeah.
With 3v3, a lot of things are changing, and I wanted to make a lot of upgrades. So one of the things that I did was I got both, more or less, the Rebel Y-Wing and the TIE Bomber up to speed. Like, they're not 7 stars, but they're upgraded now. They've got their abilities, which is something I didn't have before. That's something that kind of bit me in the butt this last GAC. I got Mon Mothma and Nubaka up to a point where I am able to use them more, but I don't know where I'm going to use Nubaka for this next round. I haven't really decided that for 3v3.
You know, I was listening to Zareth and the Gambit podcast, and they had End All Be All on there, and they did like a Friday night roundtable for discussing 3v3.
Yeah. I checked in on that.
Yeah, and I liked kind of what I'm going to try what End All was suggesting, and that was splitting up the rebels. So have CLS with 3PO and a third rebel.
That's right.
And then you could do I'm going to try a Kira lead and have Han and Chewie on that team. I don't know how well it's going to do. The first week of 3v3 is going to be a shit show. So.
Oh no, and it always is for multiple reasons. The game changes, and you don't have JAC history to work with.
Right.
You're just kind of shooting from the hip, like, oh, let's imagine this person's going to put down the same defense they did 3 months ago.
Right, exactly. The only thing you can really scout, I think, are ships.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Which, to be fair,
that's your strategy. I don't know.
No, I know it does. It does. That's been my Achilles heel for these last two championships. But yeah, so actually, I need to look into that because I don't really have Cure up to speed. But Greedo's kind of there. He gives 50% extra crit damage for Scoundrels, so I could throw him with Han and Chewie. And the CLS 3PO idea is interesting because I have not had a place for 3PO in 3v3. Like, it just hasn't happened.
Well, in the Greedo could work too because of the bounty hunter feats for 3v3.
Yeah. And there's a specific one too with him and Han, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, how this is so dumb! Like, it's never gonna work." I'm like, that actually hasn't worked before. Like, if you're gonna call something dumb, look at Django and Cody. Like, what's going on there?
Yeah, right. I don't know. I assumed that was the Clone Wars plot line that I missed or something, or I guess they're just clones. I don't know.
They just took it out of Attack of the Clones, and I won't get into it. But yeah, so Nubaka, he's Gear 11. He's 5 stars now. Yeah, I think he works well. And I actually got Mothma up to speed as of like an hour ago.
Nice.
Because I'm wanting to use her with SLKR against Rey. So that he can split, and instead of modding him entirely for health, he can just split the damage with her because she can't be targeted.
Ah, okay. Interesting.
It's super cheesy, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
So I got Mon Mothma, and I haven't decided what I'm going to do with them yet, but I put some work into Mando and Grief as well.
Nice. Me too. I gave Grief all of his maxed out most of his abilities, and I think I'm going to use him as a leader with bounty hunters. We're in your boost and boast, and I feel like I'm hijacking it.
No, yeah, you're good. But I don't know what I'm going to do yet with him because I'm going after Jamal as well, so I don't really have the stun guns and the Kairos to throw him to get to a gear 11. So I might just leave him modded in case someone puts down a timeout team and I need to throw in someone that has his what's the word? This is something I should know. Disintegration.
Oh yeah.
Like if someone just throws like down to some Vandor team, all right, Vandor, go.
Right, having another annihilate essentially would be valuable.
Yep.
The one thing with Grief is his leadership in order to get the contract is triggered by other bounty hunters in the team that attack out of turn.
Yeah.
So if you do a Grief lead with Bosk and Dengar, then both Grief and Bosk have mass assist abilities. Yep. So that could work. And then Dengar's stealthing himself, and so is Grief. So then they have to whack on Bosk. I don't know. I just
soft ton. I didn't think about that.
Just wonder if that would be I don't know if you would get the contract quickly enough. And I guess that's kind of the question too with I don't know, in 3v3s, you know what I mean? There's just less chances.
No, yeah, it might just come down to what your opponent has and what you can set on the same wall. Because if you can set enough of the right things on the same wall, that one's nasty once they get the contract. Like Dengar sucks so much when it gets his contract. Yeah, I don't remember what team I was in. I think it would have been JTR, and I killed Boba in that team, and they got the contract off after Boba was dead. I'm like, oh, this will be fine. Bosk and Dengar, it took like 3 minutes to kill them both. It was a butt clencher.
Yeah. Hey, Curtis in chat, a good point, said Aura Singh lead can get the Mando contract fast. I unfortunately don't have Aura Singh even unlocked.
Yeah, I'm not anywhere. Okay, you guys both, I think we're all around the same GP, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm 4.3. And,
yeah, I just said 4.5. I just said
okay.
4.5.
So you are
I get
going
what you mean.
Division 1? I'm sorry, I mean to talk over. You're going to Division 1 this season?
No, yeah, you're good. I'm actually not.
Okay.
I'm set for Division 1 next month. I just hit it today, prepping, but that happened after the lock.
Oh, nice. Okay, so you can still make it. Nice.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right. Well, was that all you had, Calvin?
Yeah. That's it. That's all I can manage.
All right, sweet. So we had some wine. We talked about some booze, some bows, some beers. Anybody want some meat of the hard variety?
I'm into it.
Okay.
Always starving for some meat. I will say, Zoom is telling me that my meeting time is about to end in 3 minutes. So I don't know what that's going to mean for this whole session. So I think my school district didn't pay the bill. So yeah, we're going to see what happens.
Oh,
we may have to start we may have to start a new session, but
I have premium. We could switch it over. I could switch it. We could do it.
Yeah, depending on how you guys want to do it, if you guys think we'll go longer than 80 minutes, or we probably will. But you can log directly back in. I've been doing this for months, unfortunately.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So if it hits, I can just relog in.
Yeah. It'll shut down.
You want to just do it now?
Oh, that's also an option, but it will. Fair warning, you are going to be back on the 40-minute time limit, so it might be worth it to go to the premium.
Okay.
Shoot. Okay. Yeah, I do have premium, but then you're running OBS.
Yeah.
So I don't think that would work. We'd have to relaunch the stream, right?
Maybe.
Shoot. Okay.
I don't think it'll be that big of a deal. Like if we just have to go in and out 2 times.
I can always I'll splice it together for
viewers don't mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, I see that. 2 minutes remaining. Do you want to exit out real quick and then come back, and then we'll come back with the hard meat?
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
All
right. Cool.
BRB.
We'll be back. Wonderful. Just
We'll be right back.
Yeah, you were on the same account and everything.
We'll be right back.
Yep, he's got it. So weird. I wonder if it's going to do that again. Well, we got a refill on our wine. Keep the people waiting, you know, it's building suspense. Hey, he's connecting to audio.
All right, I think we're back.
Good to be back.
All right.
Sorry
sweet.
about that.
Yeah, sorry, man.
Unfortunately,
Zoom.
I know this life very, very well. So on my part, it's not a big deal at all.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yes, you're Rogue. We're back, right?
Yep, we're back.
All right. Yes, Rogue is in chat. Your your sister did join our Discord. So shout out again to Rogue, Poohead Jen. Thanks for checking us out. We appreciate it.
Yo.
She has an interesting account. She went super hard on Slacker, like really early. I think that's what the first thing she maxed out. I forget what division. What division is she in, Rogue? Hey, what's up, Tilo man? How you doing? Thanks for hopping in. But yeah, it's a really interesting account. Went really hard on Fleet as well. Because I've wondered about that. I've always been interested in those accounts.
Yeah, what division is that? Like, when we say low division, are we talking like 7 or like 3?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good point. So he said 2 accounts. Okay, so her Galactic Legend is 4.4. I thought
okay. So yeah, that's not too far off of my account.
Yeah, because I remember him talking about it like months ago. So I don't know.
No, but even
time.
that, like when I was at I think 4.2 when I had a Galactic Legend, it was a little rare. Like there were other times where half my JC matches there were no Galactic Legends, and I'm pretty top heavy.
Yeah. So yeah, let's get to know you a little better. Let's get to know your account and kind of what you're up to. So I'll just start off with so you're talking about your GP. So you're like 4.5 now, still in Division 2 though for this GAC. This will be your last one in Division 2, you think?
Yep, it is. I already put the nail in that coffin. Unless they decide to redo the divisions this time, which I would not be against. Right. I'm going to Division 1 for sure. There's just like I won't lie, I do manipulate my GP a little, but there comes a time where I'm like, I'm not gonna not use Mando so that I can stay in Division 2. Like that needs to happen. Right. So that's so I will be going to Division 1.
Okay.
Next month. Sweet.
And just for people who don't know, so you have You've won division. Is it both in Division 2? You've won Division 2, number 1 rank in Division 2?
I know my first one was in Division 3.
Okay.
And that was the second last one. Yeah, second to last one before I left there. And then my first one coming into Division 2, I won that one as well.
That's awesome, man. Congrats on that. That doesn't happen by accident. Clearly there was some planning and strategy involved, and this most recent season, I mean, you were really close as well, which we'll get into.
Yeah, I was so close, but it's first place is first place for a reason. You can't make a mistake, and unfortunately I made one.
Yeah. Well, it's awesome that you're here, and you can impart some of your wisdom on our listeners. And I think we have listeners and people from all different, I hope we do, from all different levels of experience, different age accounts, in different divisions. Yeah. So I think there's a lot of really good stuff that translates to any division. It's not just specific to, Division 2, Division 1. A lot of the stuff is just foundational stuff that applies anywhere.
Oh yeah, if you want to look at the principles of GAC or my code, I guess you could say, there's nothing in there that talks about Galactic Legends. There's nothing in there that talks about Revan. At whatever stage you're at, there are principles that should be applied to all of them. Unless, I don't know if in Division 11 you don't have mods, then maybe that wouldn't apply. But
right.
No, but I think you do, because you have to be level 85. So never mind. Yeah, that applies to everything.
Yeah. Awesome, man. So what, as far as your roster goes, what is your favorite squad? I mean, it doesn't have to be the most powerful squad. Just what's a favorite squad that you have? It could be right now or in the past. Just pick a squad that you would consider your favorite.
Favorite squad. Let's see. Fun to use. I'm trying to think here right now. I don't use it as much anymore, specifically because of SLKR. But I was a really, really big fan of the OG First Order team, between Crew, OG Kylo, and First Order Executioner. They were just so satisfying to use in so many levels. The giant axe chop with First Order Executioner.
Oh yeah,
it's so it feels good clicking that button.
Yeah,
and also they could punch if you had their speeds high enough. They could punch up way above their belts just because Crew was such a good tank. Taking that team against Boss Bed Bounty Hunters or Karth was even easier, even with lacking gear. I want to say that. I can't really. I'm trying to think of today what would be my favorite. I don't have one that comes to mind, but for a long time, that was my pride and joy. That was the fun one.
Well, you had to be excited too when you got to relic all those guys, going for your Galactic Legend. I imagine.
I was, but mostly this is a little weird. But for 3v3, there are some factions, and First Order falls into this category, where you have maybe 10 or 12 usable characters, but they've got 3 or 4 leads that are good. Separatists are another really good example of this, and you can't use that in 5v5. My 5v5 defensive team for First Order, and every single time had SLKR, Hux, and Crew. That sucks. That's one team.
Yeah.
In 3v3, I can have 3 teams. So they're definitely very, very fun. Continued for 3v3, especially Relic. Watching First Order Executioner one-shot a Gear 12 neuter Dooku. It just makes me feel good.
Yeah, I imagine. Now, as far as GAC goes, when did you kind of realize that, the top 10 was in sight for you? What was there a moment that happened? Were you just naturally good at GAC, or what? Was it a gradual process?
Okay, I'm very competitive, and that goes beyond. That goes beyond Galaxy of Heroes. I always have been. I did a lot of karate growing up, actually, and I was really, really into that. And so I wasn't necessarily good at it from the beginning, but I was very driven into it. The teams I was using when Grand Arena first started, back when I had 1.7 mil GP, was Qui-Gon Jinn lead. That was that was one of my teams that got me my first win. And it was just a really good feeling, especially to punch above my belt against guys that had better rosters than I did. When did top 10 become a thing? This took a while. Because to do well in GAC, you do have to, or not just to do well, but if you're going for top 10 in GAC and you don't want it to do it by just completely manipulating your GP, you need to have a meta heavy roster. And that changes. That changes on your GP. If you're in a 2 million GP point, that might just be having Darth Revan, period. Mm-hmm. If you go into maybe somewhere of 3 million GP, it might be having Darth Revan and Padme and General Grievous and Geos. Whatever it is in your GP, it's not just having a Galactic Legend. And that's something a lot of people don't, or a lot of people get misconstrued. Mm-hmm. But having a meta-heavy roster, so that really is what did it, and mods. I mean, we're gonna sound like a broken record for the rest of the thing, but mods will make or break your counters, and that takes time. That's not something that you can just be good at out of nowhere. Just because you understand it doesn't mean you have them. So I'm trying to remember what that was, because I took top 10. I took top 10 before I started winning the championships, and I can't remember quite when it was. It was in Division 3, but I think it was a while ago, because if I remember correctly, we didn't have ships. We didn't have ships in this JC, and we've had ships in every single month this year. So it was probably sometime last year that became a reality.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, because it's impressive as hell, to do it as consistently as you have, and like I've listened to other, I really respect the Gambit guys quite a bit, and Xerath.
Oh yeah, me too.
He's talked about it on his alt account, which I can relate to. Even as good of a player as he is, and how much knowledge he has. I mean, the guy probably knows more. He's probably forgotten more than I know about the game, but like he is just, he's even said it's like it takes luck, skill, it's the stars truly need to align to get into the top 10. And watching your run, in this most recent season, and then to know that you've actually won two divisions before, like really impressive stuff, man. That's awesome.
No, yeah, there is an element of luck, not just in RNG, but how your opponent, what the sportsmanship of your opponent is. Like if someone has the exact same roster you do, and they decide to go full defense, you're screwed. Right. And like you'll win the match, but if you don't full clear one opponent, that's top 10. You lose top 10 right there. So there really is an element to luck to it.
Yes. That's why I'm going to blame it on luck. It's not because I'm not good enough and I've lost a match. It's because it's just luck. Now, as far as content creating goes, so like you've been doing the Twitch thing, and you've been putting videos on YouTube as well. What kind of sparked your interest in getting into content creating?
It was winning my first championship, actually. Like I won the first one, and this was probably maybe 6 months ago or something to that extent. And I had a lot of people, primarily my guild and another server that I was in. They're like, "Hey, why aren't you recording these? Like, I'm sure these would be interesting to see." And actually, there were a few factors, but one of the big ones that I wanted to avoid was being accused of cheating, because there are some things that happen in GC matches that almost look unpredictable. Like I got really, really good RNG this one time against an Akbar fleet with my negotiator, and I didn't lose protection on 3 ships, and I got like 69 or 70 banners on it. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, this is going to come up super fishy on a GAC history report, even if you look at the gear. So that was one of the reasons, because I actually didn't start on Twitch. I started on YouTube. But once I started to get a little bit of traction, I eventually switched over to Twitch, because ultimately that's kind of where GAC is now.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a really cool community too. Like, we started on We just did it as a podcast, this is a podcast, and then we started doing live streams on YouTube. Then we came over to Twitch, and Twitch was just so eye-opening. Like the community aspect of it was
way different,
really cool to meet all these new people.
Yeah.
And like you. I mean, I've seen your stuff. I'm the one that's typically tuning in and watching your GACs. And
oh yeah, that was great. And that's, like I said, that's the beauty of the platform. Is it's that easy.
Yeah, YouTube doesn't have that. Sure, if people know you're going to be on there, like, yeah, they can pop in and, chat with you and stuff. But like Twitch is just so much more interactive. And, it's very, it seems like people just want to build each other up. It's not like every content creator for themselves. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're all in this together. We all love this game and we're having fun, so.
For me on the leaderboard, it is. But at the end of the day, like,
yeah.
I will gladly take second to another content creator in GAC. Like I won't complain about that, or third, or whatever it is.
Yeah. Well, that's what's fun about it, man. It's a great game mode. I certainly enjoy it, and I don't know if I'll be up there, but we'll see. Maybe one day.
Oh, you did really well this last season. Like, yeah, you got a
Thanks,
wrench through it in the gears there in the middle, but for a while there, you were scraping top 10, yeah.
Yeah, I was this season. I was 9-0 and things were looking good, but then it all fell apart in the last week. But it was fun. It was. I mean, I've never made top 10. That's my goal right now. So if I could just get top 10, that would be sweet. Even just like how we talked about, like I don't have the perfect roster for that, and there's going to be a lot of things that need to fall into place for that to happen. But we'll see.
Oh yeah. And that's a safe goal. Like even this next season, I can never start a season with the goal of first place. It's just not healthy for expectations. Like top 50 or top 10 at most is a reasonable dream.
Yeah. Well, that makes me feel better that you think that way.
Oh no, it is just reality. Like it's it is what it is.
What about just as as far as Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes goes, like, what do you think? Why do you think it appeals so much to you? Like, have you played other games with similar amounts of time and energy, or is this game kind of unique in that way to you?
It's okay. So the only game that has replicated what I've done with this one, and I didn't do it to that extent because I was a child, is actually Pokemon.
Okay. Yeah. There's a lot of connections between this game.
Yeah. There is. You can have a collection of 150 or 251 or whatever generation you're playing, and then when you go into battle, you specifically pick a handful of them and you strategize that way. You get their IVs and their EVs up, which I guess would be the equivalent to mods.
Yeah.
And it's turn-based.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So there were a lot of similarities. There's a lot of math. Like I graduated in accounting. Like that tells you a little bit of how my head works.
Yeah.
So I'm really about the numbers aspect of it. I love it. Star Wars is the other big thing for me. I was raised on Star Wars. My dad, he got to live through the original trilogy, and then I got to live right through the prequel trilogy. Big prequel fan. Mm-hmm. And also the community, like Discord, Twitch, YouTube. That was really what locked me in. Just having people to talk to about something you're excited about.
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy to think, like, when I first started playing this game, I'm like, oh man, it's a Star Wars mobile game. And there was kind of like a level of guilt about playing it. It's like, I'm just being honest, it's like,
what has this come to? I'm on a mobile game.
Like I have a PS4. Like if I'm going to be a gamer, like I have a PS4, I have an okay computer. I can play PC games, but this Star Wars mobile game just, it's consumed all of my time that I would spend playing any other game goes to this game. Like I have an alt account. I play 2 accounts on this game, and I've just found it fascinating that it holds the interest of so many different people, like so many different people from different backgrounds, age, sex, different areas of the world, people that may not even necessarily be Star Wars fans, people that are professionals in the world. It's not like, the typical stereotypical, guy in his mom's basement with Cheeto fingers. No disrespect.
That does happen, and we love those guys too.
I love Cheetos.
Exactly. exactly. But
I do. Oh, I love Cheetos. Hot Cheetos.
Let's talk about jalapeno Cheetos real quick.
The
best
Cheetos
snack.
as well. I'll never turn down a Cheeto.
Yeah.
That'll be the name of this episode. I'll never turn down a Cheeto.
I'll never turn down a Cheeto. No. I will stand by that. I will stand by that.
I just always have found it fascinating. You know, like it's
No, it's true because you've got surgeons in one part of the world, and then you've got the 19-year-olds going through college in South Carolina or something like that.
Yeah,
it is cool to see all these people from different walks of life, and especially we get a lot of that with guilds.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. And, you know, people all over the world too. You know, I joined a Russian guild just randomly.
Cool.
And they're like, "Hey, we're Russian." A guy messaged me. He's like, "We're Russian. It's totally cool that you're American and everything, but like all of the commands are going to be Russian." So I don't know if you. I was like, "Oh, I'm a moron. I didn't actually think about that."
It's not going to work.
I know Brazilian guild. They have two Americans in it, and I asked the guild, and I'm like, "How do you do that?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "We just do. Like, occasionally we'll send them a message in English when we need to, but they like it." I'm like, "All right, if it's not broken, don't fix it."
Yeah, right. If you're happy, you're having a good time. Right now. I'm in a UK based guild in my on my alt account. And those guys are super. They're awesome. You know, it's just a good community. So I just thought that was interesting to ask you and see what you kind of thought about it too.
No, yeah, it's a combination of those three things: Pokemon, growing up on Star Wars, and what's the last? The community. The community. It's so easy to get in contact with them.
Absolutely. So last question I have for you. I know I've been grilling you here.
No, yeah, go for it. I love these.
How do you feel about socialized medicine?
Were you voting for? Oh wait,
JK.
No, I'm just kidding. No.
Yeah.
You don't have to. I'm just fucking around.
Pro medicine. We'll leave it at that.
Well, what was that?
I'm pro medicine.
Okay, gotcha.
Me too.
That is the question.
So, favorite Star Wars film? Just a fun one.
Okay. I mean, I've already said it. Like, if you're okay, I'll give you the first two because that'll make things just slightly more controversial. Number one, Revenge of the Sith.
Okay, all right.
I was bred on the prequels. I just get goosebumps thinking about Obi-Wan.
Oh, yeah.
You were my brother Anakin.
It's so good.
It's epic, man.
So good. And that's normal. Like, that's a normal thing to like. However, my second favorite film, and this is legitimately the second Star Wars film that I watched the most, is The Phantom Menace.
Okay. No. I'll do it.
Because this is my Star Wars.
Right.
This is what got me. Like, you can say what you want about Jar Jar Binks and Little Boy Annie, and it's all true. I'm not going to say you're wrong.
I like Little Boy Annie. Jar Jar Binks, maybe not.
But that's what hooked me.
Yeah.
That's what got me. And like the scene in the very beginning with the droidicas and seeing them kind of sprint. Liam Neeson telling Jar Jar that just because you're just the ability to speak doesn't make you intelligent. Like, these were things that marked me. Or Darth Maul.
Oh yeah.
I went around as Halloween as Darth Maul. Like that's.
Yeah,
I really enjoy Phantom Menace. There's so much good stuff in that one.
And the pod race is actually sweet.
Yeah, totally.
It's world building. Like if you, I'm gonna try not to go on right here, but if you take the prequels for what they're supposed to be, and not just completely put them up to the plot building and the character development of the original trilogy, they are very good.
Yeah, there's some good stuff there, for sure.
Absolutely. Well, that's good. I love this question. So I'm glad that
it's always controversial.
That you answered it.
The second one definitely.
So I do want to give a shout out on our Discord server. Last week I said, hey, anybody who's in chat, post what you're drinking in chat in the What Are You Drinking channel. So Boski did that last week per my request, and we didn't even address it. So I'm sorry, Boski, but you did post today. I didn't forget about you. So he's actually having a Great Lakes Brewing Company beverage, a Christmas ale.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's nice.
That's a good one for winter.
This is interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. Could be a grower, you know. It could grow on you.
Can I open my beer since I'm now done with my wine?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
So, Founders always puts out different kind of like varieties of their KBS. They have their Canadian breakfast stout. This is the Kentucky breakfast stout, but this is a version of that called Maple Mackinac Fudge, which I was kind of turned on to by Deschnaps. Deschnaps likes to turn me on to all kinds of fancy things like this. This 4-pack was $25. So I hope this is good. I don't think it's going to be bad, but I don't know if it's going to be worth $25 for a 4-pack. Don't tell my wife.
And we're based out of, well, she won't listen to this anyways.
She's not, but if she can hear me in the living room, she can.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. So we're based out of Michigan, both Darket and I.
What's maybe that's too personal, but like what area are you guys in?
No, like Metro Detroit. Livonia is technically where we both live. Our GPS location is, no, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
my brother lives out there, and I'll be visiting here whenever Corona lets me.
Nice. Okay, sweet. Yeah, Founders is from they're just about 2.5 hours west of where we live.
Yeah.
And that's where they're based. And then Mackinac Island Fudge is a common thing here in Michigan. We up north, we call it, up in the northern tip of Michigan. There's the Mackinac Bridge and Mackinac Island. It's a whole experience, and it's like one of our what do you call it?
Tourist traps.
Tourist traps, but it's
really
sweet.
nice. It's very nice.
It's awesome. Yeah, you take a ferry over to Mackinac Island. There's no motor vehicles allowed.
Yeah,
so
you either bike around or get horses. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's really
everything
really
smells
neat.
like horse shit. It's beautiful.
It's great. It's very romantic.
It is though. It does, but it does smell like horse shit. As long
Curtis,
as you're cool with that.
I didn't mean to overlook you in chat. Congratulations. He unlocked Jamal.
Oh, dope.
R7,
nice.
3 Zetas, and he said he's already wrecking face in arena. So.
Oh yeah.
That's
Congrats,
awesome.
man.
People like to shit on him, but I'll tell you what, I think we need to pay attention to the meta report for the next month. I do not think he is the worst Galactic Legend.
It'd be interesting to see, you know. People are, I have heard early reports that people are just like, he's a guy, he's a thing, like, but who the hell knows, man?
I mean, what if you get
pay attention to the meta report?
Kia Di Mundi in there eventually, and like it might actually be a good team. I don't know how that tune's gonna work. So, all right, I'm gonna talk to you about beer real quick. All right, so I got
beer me up.
The label says the highly acclaimed KBS, but Maple Mackinac Fudge. This is 11%. 40 IBUs. It's available between October and December. And here is their description. Michigan didn't invent old-fashioned fudge, but it was perfected here. We pay tribute to this time-honored tradition of KBS Maple Mackinac Fudge. By amplifying the rich chocolate notes of KBS using Mackinac Fudge coffee, then adding maple syrup and aging in oak barrels, we've created a bold new take on our barrel-aged classic, one that could only be originated in Michigan. And like it was just a popping aroma when I opened this guy up. Yeah, that's real good.
That could be on our Twitch
worth the $25
popular page or whatever.
It's worth $22. I don't know about $25. It's good.
Fair.
Really good.
How many stars? We didn't rate our wine or our beer.
We need to rate the wine in a second here. I'd give this a good solid 6 stars. It's a good one. Very creamy.
We should maybe overhaul our rating system and go with gear levels. And relics.
Gear or relics?
I like that.
Because like if it's a really I don't know, there's just more. Because normally we go 1 to 7 stars, and then we'll throw on an arbitrary Zeta. But like gear levels, it's a purple. This is a purple drink,
It's a gear
purple beverage. Yeah, it's a gear A beverage. No Zetas, no Omegas even. This, I don't know. There's just more customization. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
So you're saying I have to make a whole new emoji system for our Discord server. Is what you're saying?
If I had to rate the wine, I would say Gear 13, no relics.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Because it's something that I'm going to use every day, but at the end of the day, it's not going to make or break my my success.
I'm going to go with Gear 12 with I'll put some Zetas on this wine. This is I'll put 1 Zeta on this wine. It's good wine. I drink it again. It's tasty.
I'm gonna say gear 9 for mine, only because the cork gave me so much shit trying to get it out. It's too hard.
Gear bottleneck.
It's too hard of an unlock. Yeah, exactly. No, I don't like
too
gear
many
bottlenecks.
Kyros in that one.
Yep. Exactly.
Yep. All right, so let's move this thing along. We got a lot to talk about, man. Do you guys even want? Maybe we should just do like GAC abridged. What do you think? Because we still have to talk about the new characters that were released.
Yeah.
And Mando.
Mine's already abridged.
How
so
are you guys going to do it? I'm game.
Okay.
Mine sucked. Move on.
Okay.
Not first place.
No.
Carry on.
I'll just hit like key stuff and then move on. How about that? Want me to start?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So I finished this last season 11 and 1, which is tied for what I did last season. So tied it for my best season. I ended up at rank 220. So
that's good.
Again, better than I've ever done. I think I was in the 300s last season. So for perspective, just to show you like what I did this season to get there, I only failed 6 attacks the entire season. Now Calvin's laughing because he doesn't fail attacks.
That's not true.
This has been established. But I failed to get the full clear twice. So that's how I ended up. So 11 and 1, rank 220, didn't get the full clear twice. And you know, one of the rounds, the one that I lost on, the only round I lost was against a pretty strong player. Like one of the most interesting things that I found in this season is getting to the final week in week 4. My pod of 8 opponents, the rosters were significantly different than anything that I have ever faced. We had multiple Jedi Knight Lukes.
Yep.
And Galactic Legends were in play, which is something that I just don't see in Division 2 or haven't. So it was an interesting week to say the least. So I lost to the guy that had Jedi Knight Luke kind of at the hands of myself. I mean, I underestimated a JTR team. I had the sufficient counters, but I ended up trying to use troopers on it. Just was stupid. I lost. They were undergeared. And then Negotiator. I beat that team. I got through to ships. I just had trouble with my malevolence against the Negotiator.
Don't get me started.
I know. It just was like, and I would blame RNG if it were RNG, and if it was just my a misplay on my end. But like I fight way more difficult negotiators in my arena climb every day, and
you guys every time.
Rarely lose to Negotiator. I can't remember the last time I lost to Negotiator. And this time, like, everything that went wrong. I called Spy as a reinforcement.
Didn't get Anakin.
Yeah, the Force Taunt went on to someone else. No, the worst possible. I don't remember the worst character. And I couldn't get Anakin out of there. And then he wrecked my face. So, so that was disappointing. So, I like we had talked about before, I had been, in the top 10 or top 20 most of the season. So that dropped me down. But that opponent that I lost to, he actually ended up winning. He went 3-0. Ironically enough, I had better banners than him. And I actually talked to the guy. He was pretty cool. His name is the Uranium Kid, and he's in one of Heinz's guild. I don't think it's
the ANGC group.
Yeah, and he was super cool. Talked to him, and he understood where my name came from. It's a Mystery Science Theater reference and Mystery Science Theater 3000 reference, and like we were just talking. He was a really, really cool guy. But he ended up winning our pod. So I didn't feel that bad. He did have Jedi Knight Luke, so he had I think a more developed roster, and he had all of the tools that I had too. So. So ended up losing that, and I went 2-1 in that last week, and I was really kind of excited because I got to face my first Galactic Legend and defeat my first Galactic Legend.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a Galactic Ray, Galactic Legend Ray, and I had never faced one before, so I started tinkering and doing some research, and I ended up using a Vader lead with Watt, Thrawn, Nasty Basti, and Treya. And it was a full resistance Galactic Legend Ray team, and I had never faced one of those in arena. But
that's not common.
I had some like decent practice and decent results against, kind of mixed teams, non-resistance teams, Galactic Legend Rays. And I was feeling pretty confident. So I went in and I got Ray to half health too quickly with Vader. And it's kind of crazy the way that the counter works. Like Vader just wrecks shit. Like the dots are just insane. Like he'll have like 20 plus dots on somebody and they're just melting, And then you've got Shreya throwing around Isolate and Thrawn fracturing people. Like it's a really cool counter. So I failed the counter. I got it down to just Ray. And then I was able to clean up Ray with gas. And my opponent thought that he had an I win button because he had absolute trash fleets behind there. And I got 70 banners on both fleets.
Nice.
Which was a first for me.
That's crazy. 70 banners on both?
On both,
Hell
man. Yeah.
No protection, 3 ships, yeah?
Yeah. It was.
Yeah, 70. That's 70.
Malevolence, and I mean they were just awful ships. Like
he probably went to the bottom of his roster. I've seen people do this. They will literally go to the last characters, the last ships, and they'll set that. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, like there are counters to Ray, dude. I mean, I don't have a Galactic,
especially
Legend,
now.
But,
like these have been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, I was pretty proud of myself. I felt good that I got to take out a Galactic Legend and at least got the clear and the win on that round. But next time I'll see what happens, and excited to continue on. This is my 7th consecutive season making Kyber, so all in all, I think it was a good season.
Now improvement is improvement. If you're going from 300 to 200 this time, hopefully you can go from 200 to 100 this next round.
Yeah,
3v3 likes to mess with that.
I have no expectations. If I can make Kyber, I'm gonna be happy. Honestly, I went 9-3 last 3v3, so I don't know. We'll see.
I'm feeling pretty positive about 3v3 this time. I think I can do a little better than I did last time. So yeah.
I think I have an advantage with fleet for sure in 3v3 because most of my opponents in Division 2. They skip leg day, like you've talked about on the Gambit. They just their fleets are trash. Like, they just invest so heavily on characters and the ground troops. That's great, but what are you going to do when you get to ships? And so I think I have an advantage there with the 2 ships in Division 2 and Division 1 now. I think I definitely have an advantage there. So knock on wood, we'll see.
That's where I'm at. Like, I don't know how to use I have obviously the Malevolence that I keep on offense that I can underman a lot of stuff. But like, what do I do with my 5-star negotiator now? Like,
are you in Division 2?
Yeah, Division 2. Yeah.
Because we're gonna need 4 this time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, so my home one, my rebels
are really strong home one.
My rebels are good.
Okay.
They were a fleet that got me like rank 1 for a long time, and then I replaced them with Malevolence. I've got a Rebel Y-Wing at 6 stars, so I can save Houndstooth, kind of, for my Negotiator fleet. But it's kind of iffy. I mean, it's only a 5-star Negotiator, so I don't really know how far I can take that. On defense, it's really not going to take any holds, I don't think, so.
You'll trash probably anything except a 7-star Negotiator. Like, you're at a pretty big disadvantage. But you'll trash Malevolence, you'll trash a good home one, you'll trash a good Thrawn.
It's nice to have, man.
It'll do work.
Yeah.
It'll do work. The biggest disadvantage is when the other negotiator is faster. He gets to the days out, and you're done.
Yeah. Exactly.
You have an R7 Kenobi, too.
I do, yeah.
That's nice. And
if I see a negotiator on defense, I'm obviously going to use my Malevolence, because that's an easy counter, so... My GAC did not go well, like normal.
It's all right, man.
It's not my game mode, but I actually lost all 3 in the last round. I was doing okay. I was doing like 2-1, whatever. I was getting to the championship and then losing that one, and I lost all of the matchups in the last round completely.
It happens, man.
I mean, I don't know.
Well, hey, you made Kyber last season for the first time, so you're improving.
Nice.
You were improving, man.
Yep. But the feats for me were like kind of what held me back here. Like, obviously I could have done better in that last round, but I'm still trying to adjust to the having 2 fleets out there. Having to work with 4 fleets in total. I do think 3v3. might be a good change of pace. See if I can like use some of these hard hitting Jedi that I have now to underman. So I don't know.
Division two, two fleets is brutal.
Yeah,
like I don't know anyone who's in Division 2 and has 4 developed fleets, not just like the capital ships there, but like actually has the full fleet for them ready to go.
Yeah, I got to make sure that I get all of the non-piloted ships kind of maxed out so that can be like something to throw in there without really pushing my GP, like where I don't really need it to be pushed. And when I got Negotiator, like that was in like the last round, so that threw my GP off, and like I didn't really have the abilities maxed yet, so it wasn't like a viable option to use on offense.
Just so nice dead weight.
Yeah, it was dead weight. I threw it on defense and it got destroyed. So whatever.
When it comes to the pilot of the ships, make sure to upgrade their reinforcements, even if you don't use them in the reinforcement slot. Their stats still go up, which is weird, but
okay.
Yeah,
there's a nugget of truth I didn't know.
Their stats are directly tied to their overall GP. So anything that bumps up their GP is going to bump up their stats. I don't think it bumps up speed, but I mean, it's like 300 health or something like that.
Okay. I didn't know that. Yeah.
You know what, Calvin? You mentioned the TIE Bomber earlier, and that ship is – I've been developing that one too. I've been farming it slowly. Like, it's only 5-star, I think. But
I think mine's 4.
Dude, that ship is beefy. I use it with Malevolence. And I call it as a reinforcement. Its special ability wipes all buffs from the enemy team. And it also applies burning, which especially against a home 1 fleet is really messes up the rebels like hugely. But like even against Negotiator, there's no need to bring Houndstooth at all whatsoever, like with Malevolence, in my opinion.
Yeah, because he has I need to look into him more before I get to use him. But he has anti-light side synergy, which is why Darket can beat Negotiator if you have the ships geared, or not the ships, the characters for the ships geared correctly. Yeah. It'll do some work, but in general, I haven't played around with it. But when I first read the abilities for it, and maybe I read it wrong, but it almost seemed like Rebels can't damage it.
Right.
if you like look through its uniques or its reinforcements, like what happens when it burns them. It comes off as like it has like 1,000% defense or something like that. And it's just gonna wreck them.
It's a crazy ship. Like I can't wait to have it 7-starred. It's already doing work. Like just it right now I have it. It's just 5-star, 23 out of 85. But I love it, man.
It'll wreck Rebels. It'll wreck Rebels.
And just as a wild card, like in my arena climb, I'll bring it in as a reinforcement, against Negotiators, and it rips all of those taunts off of all the different tanks that are on the field, all their buffs. That's a pretty crazy ability, like to just come in and hit that special and remove all buffs, all retribution, all protection, everything from everybody. Like Negotiator really benefits, or really, operates on having all of those extra buffs. So.
Oh, yeah, they've got multiple ways of offense up, retribution, protection up. The list goes on and on. Yeah.
Anyway, just as an aside, like I'm with you. And same thing with the Rebel, the Y-Wing. I maxed that one out too and plan to use that in this GAC. So ships are important, man, especially in Division 2 and Division 1 now with the 2 slots.
Yeah.
I mean, they are – you'd rather have it than not.
It is worth noting, and this is actually something Endall figured out. I won't take credit for this. But in 3v3 now, the bottom is still worth more points than the top.
Yeah, yep, that's a great point. They talked about that. The bottom is worth more than the top portion. Yep. Is it so it's 4 in Division 2 and Division 1. There's 3 ground troops on top and 4 on the bottom?
It's 4, 3, 4. So 4 on the top and 4 on the back and 3 in the bottom. If I remember correctly.
Okay. Yeah, it's a first for me in this division in Division 3, so I wasn't or in Division 2, so in 3v3, I mean in Division 2.
The 3v3 in Division 1 and 2 is hard on streamers because you just get so worked up thinking about what you want to use because there's so many different teams you have to take out. It's exhausting.
Yeah, lot more fails too, I'm sure, and you start, I think we streamed a few Darket, you and I, when threes was going on last time in July. That's the last time it was around.
Yeah.
It was stressful because it's just like
there's just so much going on.
Yeah.
There's so many things you got to work with.
Let's see what I have. Okay, I have got I've got Leia. I don't know what I'm gonna do with Leia, but I have her. I don't know.
It takes so long to get through 3v3 because there's just so many battles you have to do. It's crazy.
My wife's gonna love this.
I'm about to double the amount of time that I'm gonna be on my phone for the next month. And last time, didn't they back to back 2 3v3s in a row? 2 months.
And then it's sandwiched. They went 3v3, 5v5, 3v3.
Okay.
Oof,
I think they learned their lesson though. There was a lot of backlash from the community after that second one. Hopefully.
All right, Darket, you want to move on?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, Calvin, how was your GAC season? As much or as little as you want to talk about it.
No, yeah, it was pretty simple. Up until the first 3 weeks, everything was going good. It wasn't dropping any attacks. The only thing noteworthy is I had one dude who, and this was dumb. He messaged me and he's like, "Hey, I've got a surprise for you on my defense," and he just went ahead and threw everything he had on defense. And he sent me a message later. He's like, "Oh, I know I didn't have a chance." He had everything I had except Jedi Knight Luke. Like everything that I had, just because he didn't have Jedi Knight Luke, he threw in the towel. So I got to fight. Chance. No, it was stupid. He put SOKR, Gas, Padme, Grievous, Geos, 2 other teams I can't remember right now, all on defense. And the only benefit, and this is where I didn't have to get lucky or I didn't have to get unlucky, is he told me this before I'd set defense.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put SOKR on defense and I'm gonna throw everything else on offense and try to wreck you. And that's what I did. I managed to one-shot his board, so that was noteworthy, I think.
Yeah, for sure, man.
He wasn't a member of the Awakened Collective, was he? Just give me his name and I'll make sure he's no longer.
He was. This is actually Ando. Ando actually helped me decipher this. He was from a I don't even know, like a Czech Republic or a Russian guild.
Yeah,
that explains it.
Russians are always all about that shit. God damn.
I say this.
It's fucking Russians, man. I tell you what.
Because he left a certain type of smiley face in the phrase, and I didn't even think of it. And Anda's like, "Hey, if he has this guild, that smiley face means this." And I'm like, "Okay, so I'll plan accordingly." And it worked out. But coming into the last week, and this is where everything got. This is where the rubber really hit the road. I hadn't dropped a battle in the first 3 weeks, and that's huge. I've never gone a season, and this is still a goal of mine, to go a full season without dropping a single battle. The first 2 matches, they went well. I don't really remember anything specific from them, but the last one, the dude went heavy defense. He put down Rey. He put down Darth Revan. He put down Padme, if I remember correctly. Might not have been Padme. Might have been something else. But it was pretty heavy. Like Darth Revan and Rey alone in Division 2 is pretty stacked. But I was able to one-shot all of his ground stuff. Went into ships. Saw his negotiator was really low GP. Didn't think twice about it. Threw Malevolence. And what he did was, and this, I still to this day don't know if it was intentional or if it was on accident, but he took a mod off of his 5s so that his 5s was actually slower than his negotiator, so that way negotiator would open up with the AoE. And when he did that, it completely threw off my Malevolence counter. I wasn't able to kind of manipulate things with Hyena Bomber, and he put in really junk ships as reinforcements so that he would get free turns with Jedi Anakin, and he wrecked me. And that one mistake that cost me first place in the division.
That Russian bastard. I'm sorry.
Actually, this one, I don't know where this one was from.
It's Czech Republic. Let's just say he's from Russia because that's easier.
Because that's easy. I don't know where this guy was from. But I did beat him. I got the match. I got the win. I ended up finishing 12 in the division, which is okay. From a resource point of view, that's really good. And I won't get into it, but I improved from last month of a mistake that I had made. But yeah, it went at taking out that last mistake against the negotiator. It went really well.
That's awesome, man. 12-0 is, gosh, it's kind of funny, like in hindsight, to think about, like, what if I told you you would go 12-0 and still be disappointed, you know? But like, you still, I mean, you ended up 12th in the division, you said?
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
That's awesome, man.
Oh yeah, I mean,
That's
I
huge.
won't. It was disappointing because that was literally the last battle that I did out of the entire month. But I've said this before: if that happened week 2 or week 3, I would be ecstatic.
Right. Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
With 12 out of 12 and 12th place, I'll take that again.
Just the way the cookie crumbled.
Yep.
All right. So that was GAC. Now, we did have some Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes news. It was a busy week. We had a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we got some stuff coming.
Yeah.
So obviously we've talked about it. 3v3s coming back. The join period is right now at the time of this recording.
Don't click it on accident.
Yeah, I have not yet. Luckily, I'm going to play the game where I'm going to think about it all day, all night, all morning, and hope that I don't forget to join. You know, that's a really fun game. I like to torture myself with.
The wife's like, babe, why are you sweating right now? I'm trying to figure out when to join.
I'm thinking.
Forget it.
This is my me time.
Question myself. Maybe this is probably not great to it, but I question myself maybe 4 or 5 times.
Yep.
If I have the right mods on.
Yeah.
Especially 3v3 because I change mods. I change mods for 3v3, and it's terrible.
Speaking of changing mods, and Calvin, and how you guys should check the links that I just posted back into the Twitch channel, and which will be in the show notes if you're listening. I changed my Padme modding based on your YouTube video.
Oh yeah. The one for 3v3s.
I didn't realize that. That's if you want to talk about it, great. If you want to, actually, you should just go to Calvin's YouTube channel and check out his 3v3 before you hit the join button. He's got a great 3v3 video about different counter teams and modding, and it's a really good video. So check it out.
Oh yeah, I think I took apart five different teams, like 5 of the most popular teams. Yeah, that one's really simple. Just make Padme Sorvin, General Kenobi, and Jedi Anakin. But there are some nuances to it. Do check it out.
Yep, I did that. So I'm hoping to
I gotta do that still.
Bring some courage to Padme and wreck some Drevens.
The nice thing about this is bad actually. Malik currently has a bad AI interaction where he will always prefer the shock over the life drain, which will really hurt his DPS and might make him a lot easier to kill. So there's that going for you now too.
That's true. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. So Drevens may not be the top 3v3 team.
Monster it was.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, it's back. This is the first 3v3 season since July, by my account. I think the last time, yeah, like July 21st, I think was about the join period for our last 3v3 season.
And was anybody complaining about that? They were like, "Oh, you know what? I want 3v3 back."
We need more 3v3 in this game, guys. Come on. Especially there's these new Galactic Legends. Why not have an impractical game mode that, isn't realistic to the game at all?
Doesn't utilize synergies. Let's get back on it.
No, yeah, that's the big issue because like my favorite part of the game is Gray in the Arena, but the second part of my favorite part of the game is Arena when there's a shift and we have to develop these off meta counters. Off meta counters don't work in 3v3 for Galactic Legends.
Right.
Like you're hosed.
Yeah, it's kind of like you're playing chicken, right? Depending on what your opponent sets defensively or takes for offense. If you only have one Galactic Legend, it's...
Yeah, there's only so much you can work with. We'll find that more as this one fleshes out.
Yeah.
But even like Rey, you need a Galactic Legend to beat Rey in 3v3, unless you want to do the traumatizing 30 battle method.
Yeah, right. Yeah, throw the kitchen sink at her and then make her kill herself and then hope that you can extinguish that fire. Ugh. But yeah, it's 3v3, so it is what it is. I say it every season, but every 3v3 season, I feel like I do learn more about my roster and about specific characters, their uniques, the lesser known the more subtle things about the character. So I'm excited to see what it brings. It's a unique season because we have a lot of new characters since last, or reworked characters since since last 3v3. We have the Vader rework. I don't think that was around in the last 3v3. Do you guys? Was it right around the same time?
It was right on the cusp, but
it was right on the cusp. It was there. I'm not quite sure.
So more people are going to have that, and Vader. If anything, since that time, I think more people have learned. I mean, he's a legit galactic legend counter.
Everyone has a relic now. Like that, right. I think that's probably the big difference.
That's going to be different. Then you have Chupio came in on the tail end, I think, of 3v3, but now he's farmable, and I think a lot more people have that character who's since he shares stats from the CLS leadership or from the leader. If you have CLS in there and they're fairly built up, I mean that's. You can have a gear 8 Chupio and still do work with it because he's getting half of the stats.
He's got synergy with other rebels like Old Ben with the blind. That's just cheap, but it works. You put an Old Ben, Chupio, and Nihilus, and your opponent just waits to die.
Yeah, good point. That'll be interesting. We've got Piet, Mon Mothma. The Mando characters are now more developed, I think, than they were prior, in the last 3v3. And then you've got, of course, new Galactic Legends, Jedi Knight Luke. More people have Jedi Knight Luke. So
yeah, he grew a lot on his second wave.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting season, and it's bounty hunter themed. So I don't know. I feel like I've been talking a lot. That's pretty common in our podcast, but do you guys want to check out do you want to go through any of the feats for?
Yeah, I got feats up right now, actually. So
okay.
Yeah, so there's a lot of cool ones going on. So some of the first win a grand arena battle with Aura Singh and Boba Fett to earn the title of mercenary. That's one of the first ones you'll see. There's definitely a couple that I can't get, but one of the first ones also is defeat 6 enemy units in Grand Arena with characters who had ties to the Shadow Collective. That's supposed to be dropping in the first week. So qualifying characters for that would be Aura Singh, Boba, Boss, Cad Bane, Dengar, Embo. It's a long list. A lot of them. Greedo, IG-88, Django, Zam, Kira, Darth Maul, Savage, Talzin, Han, and Young Han. So that's going to be a pretty easy one, I think, to get. Everybody's got some of those characters. So Shadow Collective.
I might bust out my Savage Opress lead.
Yeah.
With Malik.
Yeah.
And other Sith to be named.
One that
they'll do some work as well, because Savage is kind of like a bootleg Malik within himself, and Malik with extra defense is just worse.
Yeah, he grants 75% defense. I think Savage does.
I think it might be flat.
That's insane.
No, I think actually 50%. I don't remember.
I just upgraded it because I was like, I upgraded it yesterday. I have a Gear 11. Speaking of that, I have a Gear 11 Savage. Most content creators have like a dumb character that they relic to like R7.
That should be yours.
That might be mine. I respect him too because like he got the DACA treatment, the full DACA treatment. Yeah. I love the Night Sisters, so like he got to gain about 50 pounds of solid lean muscle and grow like 12 inches. I mean, I wouldn't mind that. That would be pretty sweet.
Like just Captain America of Star Wars.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So, even though his kit is absolute dog shit and atrocious, I don't know. Maybe I'll be the R7 Savage Press guy. I don't know.
I've got a guy for my guild. I don't know if he's R7 or R5, but he'll use them. He'll use them. He's got the Zaydes one of like 100,000 health or something like that.
Oh man. I'm liking it more and more. Who needs a galactic legend? I can get a
R7
7
Savage Press.
Yeah,
why not?
Anyway, so yeah, was there any other feats you want to rattle off?
There's other feats, but the one that I want is the Jango Fett portrait. Defeat 6 enemy units in Grand Arena with characters who wore Mandalorian armor. So nice. I can just chip away at this one with Boba and Jango and Sabine, I think. I don't have Mandalorian anywhere near viable, so.
And I misspoke earlier about Jango Fett. Obviously, he got his kappa detated in the Clone Wars series. I was thinking more along the lines of like Boba Fett and those folks. I guess I wasn't thinking about that specific feat. So what was that feat again? That was
what I mentioned with Jango Fett and Cody.
Yeah,
that was dumb.
Jango
Fett, Cody, and Rex.
Okay. Yeah, that's just
like there's not indirect synergy. Like one of those characters isn't even good. Two of them are used in other teams. Like it's just that was mean. I did not like that one.
I guess you could do a Rex lead.
Yeah.
You could.
Yeah.
I don't know against what. Like one has a galactic legend. They put him on the front wall and junk behind it. I guess.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the feats are always interesting. And then we had 2 new characters. And I think this was a cool release with Kuiil and IG-11 coming out. The way that they did it, especially like they got other content creators and content creators.
Yeah, they got a little round table going. That was really, really cool.
I love that. That was awesome having, the Galactic War Report guys and Operation Metaverse on, and Sig from SWGOH events, to have them on there to do a roundtable discussion about the characters, to ask questions, in real time. Really cool way of introducing the characters and to put them on the map.
I would definitely like to see them do that again, even if it's with Galactic War Report every time. For me, the more of that type of communication and the more of like that outlet of communication we have to them, the better.
100%, and that's going to help those content creators as well. If there's exclusive information about the game that we all love, like, why not shine a spotlight on people and give more focus to it. So I thought it was really cool. I really liked how they did it. And truthfully, when they released new characters, I don't know, speaking personally, like I don't have time and I don't really care to read the kits super in depth anyway, because I'm not necessarily going to jump right in and start farming them and using them right away. Like I'm just now applying abilities, maxing out abilities on Grief Karga, who's been in the game for how long, like.
Oh yeah. And I mean, if you're anything like me, I don't understand the kit until I use it. Like I'm a kinesthetic learner.
Yep.
You can tell me that Rey's going to do this however many times until I actually have her or even go against her. If I even go against her, I'm not going to understand the kit at all.
And I need to do it many times. Like I have to, like, I was just thinking about this. Like, I've used Zombie and Crew for so long, I've used them for years at this point. And I've honestly just realized that they put tenacity down on their basics. Like I just clicked. I'm like,
and it's irresistible.
Oof, that's huge. And that could be like, especially like with Night Sisters when you're countering Geos, like applying that so that you can get a stun to, guarantee ensure. I mean, it's a hard counter anyway, but like on my alt, I oftentimes punch up against much higher, geared Geo teams with my Night Sisters, and that tenacity down is huge to apply stun, and it's So I need to use this.
Yeah, those are really big deals, especially within. If you look at the again going back to the old First Order team, there's a lot of not just debuffs but also TM stripping, and that goes through the potency tenacity check as well. So that tenacity down, you can just keep hammering away with First Order Executioner or Fu or whoever it is.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, so they introduced these new characters from the Mandalorian, Kuiil and IG-11. I don't know how much you guys want to touch on these kits. Is there anything that stuck out to you guys?
I think there is one thing that's really, really important, and this is going to affect even I think up until Arena, but especially TW. The way their kits are built, there are a lot of things that mess with specifically the Vader, but also a little bit the Darth Rev encounter against Rey. One of Vader's big weaknesses has always been his weaknesses double tank, specifically double pre-taunting tank. It makes it difficult to get around to Rey, and you can put in Traya, and you can kind of get away with that. I think I have to put in Fast on Fallen. But also there's now double cleansing if you put in L3 and IG-11 at the same time. I'm not saying that it's impossible now, but it's going to be way harder than it was before. Especially with IG-11's base stats. He's almost a galactic legend.
Yeah, I've heard that's what T-Money was saying, that his base stats are like galactic legend level, and even like it's kind of funny, like the developers are like, did we make a horrible mistake?
Yep, I think they
did. No, and but we'll see. Who knows?
I don't know what the motivation behind this was, but I know that people like to claim they're the worst galactic legend and this and that. And Ray's not going anywhere, and those two characters are going to be a pain in the butt, especially Kuiil. Like he's immune to crits. He's immune to crits while IG-11 is still alive, and so it's going to cause a lot of problems, and it's going to force us to be a lot more flexible, both with Darth, Revan, and Vader. I think the solution to Vader might just be having your hits timed better, and Darth Revan, you're going to need a fast Geonosian Brute Alpha to be able to get beyond those two pre-taunts at the very beginning. But it is going to get more complicated.
Yeah, it's interesting too. Like IG-11's kit, he fills he can play a lot of different roles. You know, he can be a support, he can be a tank.
I was just getting for the character. That's lore right there. Like in the beginning, we see him as an all-out attacker. More so to the middle. When he comes back, we see him as more of a support in the base. And then you get to the very end, and he's a tank who, spoiler alert, sacrificed himself.
Yeah.
It is kind of weird to see like the archetype kind of change throughout. You know, like there's plenty of different ways to use it. I do kind of wonder if Taika Waititi is involved somehow in the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes creation. Is S.P.B. Crumb actually Taika Waititi?
Oh. No, I don't
I've seen pictures of Crumb. I'm going to go with no.
I'm going to go with no.
Zareth just asked, who's this filthy casual on the podcast?
Yeah.
I'm going to take a wild guess and say that would be me.
He used his emote, of course.
Like the filthy casual one?
Yep. Yeah.
I got to love it.
Yep, absolutely. Anything else on these kits you guys liked? Anything stuck out? I thought the animations were sweet.
The animations are really cool, especially with, for me, IG-11, like seeing Baby Yoda on the back and like seeing IG-11 just kind of spin around and do crazy stuff. I think the even the basic sensory advantage looks cool. The Nurse Droid protocol looks cool. I need to see it in action to like really know how far I want to work them up, but it's cool to see the new tunes in. So,
the art team really hit it out of the park with this one.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember this, but I think it was a year before the Mandalorian actually came out that the only trailer we had was just IG-11 like turning like a top and just shooting out of some western or something like that.
Yeah.
And ever since that moment, I was like, that's cool. And they were able to replicate that. They were able to replicate that in the animations for the character. It wasn't just an IG-88
replica with some new with
a different blaster or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it was. I was very, very pleased with that.
That was one thing that I was worried about. Is Ugnaught just gonna look different and then label him Kuiil, and then is IG-11 just gonna be IG-88 with some different? It's totally different. So it's cool what they did.
They're definitely very different, because I know they do that sometimes, particularly with ships, where it's like Rex's ship and Sarge's ship. Those are pretty much the same.
Yeah, right.
Who gives a shit? Who gives
a
shit?
Tell me.
There
it is. You mean to tell me I've been farming Ugnaught for absolutely no fucking reason recently?
Ugnaught and Lobot, just keep going. Keep going. R3.
If you started, just don't stop.
All right, yeah,
There's some weird theories that I don't think are going to go anywhere. That Lobot's somehow going to have a use now because IG-11 is a really good light side droid and Chupio, but don't do that.
That's far-fetched.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, I think with these new characters, it's easy. Like, I always have an instinct. It's like, oh, they're the new characters. I need to go ham on them. I need to absolutely go crazy. Like that is kind of true for Chupio. I mean, he's
no. Chupio was something that changed the GAC meta.
He's the real deal, But like, I think for the most part, like maybe just keep focusing on what you've spent months investing in, if it's worthwhile. If it's not, maybe not. But if it's a meta team, or
if it's
or Galactic Legend,
yeah.
Definitely no.
Oh yeah, it depends on your play style, but
yeah, that too. No shame on anybody who's doing stuff.
No problem with that.
You talked about it like you don't have passion projects. I heard you say on the Gambit, and
yeah, my passion project is winning. I believe it. What it ended up being at the quote.
That's perfect. I mean, I'm similar in that way. I mean, I have some things like I probably relicked Night Sisters a little too hard, and like I only have gear 8 Imperial Troopers, so like not too crazy, but that's about it. Like I'm right in step with you. Like I don't have passion projects. Like maybe Savage Press though. Maybe I need to deviate.
Hey, maybe it's coming.
We'll see.
Who knows?
All right. So
I'm just saying if they release Jar Jar, I could have a passion project.
Jar Jar.
Yeah, AOE Confuse on the Padme team. Just think about it.
There's There's definitely some options there, I think, for like a Jar Jar coming in and like really changing that Galactic Republic team. Yeah,
they were talking about it on that Gambit roundtable. Like they were saying that Padme kind of has lost her way a little bit in the meta.
She's in a box. Mm-hmm. Her box was really, really cool, and now her box is just getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah, it sure is.
All their damage is based off of health, and they can't gain turn meter out of turn, so they're in a box. Yeah. And I don't even know if a reinforcement or a rework will really change that, because you can put gas on the Padme team, it's not going to make it that much better.
I know,
right? And people are peeling a lot of the Jedi from the Padme team to go against Galactic Legends or make other teams, so it's leaving her kind of out to dry. But
the nice redeemable thing about it, though, she's never going to go out of style for LSTB. Like that was something I knew when I made that investment. Like this character is going to be needed, necessary, above and beyond until the next TB. And let's be real, that's going to be like what, 2-3 years now if that happens. Right,
that's a good investment at this point.
Yeah,
and you know what? We're talking about her in 3v3 as a legitimate Darth Revan counter,
The more leaders, the better in 3v3. That was something I realized when I first got into Edition 2. That was starved for leaders.
Right. Good point. Yeah, we're placing 11 teams on defense, right?
That's correct. Yep.
That's a lot of
22 teams in total. I need roughly 22 leaders unless you want to do something janky, which works sometimes.
Yeah. So that's about it for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes topics.
Well, one more. If you're watching chat, Dishnaps, our esteemed territory battle guru, just said that we maxed ships for the first time in Phase 4. Nice. So we are looking at 30 stars. For Awakened Rebels.
Good benchmark.
Nice.
That's huge, man. Like, because we're only 228 million GP. 228. That's a big.
That's a big milestone.
Yeah, it's a big milestone, I would say. So yeah.
Hats off to the territory battle gurus for sure, man. Yep. Those guys.
Riley, Dishnaps, and everybody who put in their work. We appreciate you. So cheers.
Absolutely.
And Dishnaps, thank you for the recommendation on this beer. This is fantastic.
Snaps, good guy. All right.
So we are getting into our Star Wars in general section. We have a new episode of The Mandalorian, new season of The Mandalorian, and we are super excited to talk about it. So
and this is super spoiler heavy. If you
have not seen,
you've been warned.
If you have not
seen,
if
you don't like Star Wars,
right? Basically, at this point, come on.
If you're zombieing through life and not paying attention to the new stuff for Star Wars, tune out. But for everybody else, if you've watched Chapter 9, Season 2, Episode 1, The Marshal, we are going to talk about that right now, and we're going to get deep into it. So, Chapter 9 is called The Marshal, and lots of stuff kind of goes on in this episode. Do you guys have any initial reactions before we get kind of deep into like all the scenes?
I guess my initial reaction of the episode overall is I was a little, and maybe this is a transition point, but I was a little surprised that we're kind of still in the rhythm of season 1.
Yeah.
We're still with Mando and Baby Yoda. You're calling them that. They're going around to different planets and they're kind of helping the people at said planet, which is cool. But I know Jon Favreau's technically in charge, but that was very much Dave Filoni's thing in the first season of his shows. Like, all right, this first season we're going to play around. We're going to introduce the characters. We're going to work on some development. In the second season and the third season, we're going to really hammer in on the plot.
Yeah.
And for me, we're still not there.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're still in the hey, this is the character, which is cool. I'm not going to complain about the episode.
Right. I would say, too, like, we've kind of seen this type of episode before where you take on a beast and you, like, work on, like, okay, so what's going to happen? This whole, like, thing of, like, which parts of our, like, tech are we going to use and whatnot. So I feel like it was a little bit of...
It's a great dragon this time. It's not a mudhorn.
It's definitely different than a mudhorn.
It's not a mudhorn. It's a great dragon.
I agree. But I feel like it's a little bit of a rehash of something we've seen.
I'd agree.
I enjoyed the whole thing. I loved all of it because there's some new characters.
Right.
Like, I think, like, what we know about Mando does do some advancing here on this episode. First thing that I want to say, though, too, is I'm a little bit worried about episode 1 being a 52-minute runtime, which is way longer than any of the episodes we've seen so far. And, like, that, it worries me because I love seeing longer episodes, but, like, does this set up a situation where, like, they feel like they have to always have 50 minutes?
Drag
and,
them
like,
out a little bit.
They've struggled with even 40-minute episodes in season 1, so, like, that kind of worries me a little bit. If they're setting up some kind of new, like, thing to, like, achieve all the time, because there were some episodes in season 1 where there was kind of slow. So I don't know how you guys feel about that.
I'm not a cinematics expert by any means, but for me, the more Star Wars content, the better.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if they're reading through the Jedi Code unnecessarily for 5 minutes. I'll be there and I'll rewatch it.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I get where you're coming from. Of, like, they feel like they have to fill that void, because that was one of maybe the only complaint from season 1 is it's over too fast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
I think that's a common trope in television making in general. You know, with trying to just put out too much of a good thing. It's like, okay, you didn't really have a plan for season 2, and I'm not saying Mando is this.
No,
way,
yeah, not
like,
the case, but
other shows. It's like there's so much content out there. Like, everybody's putting out content. You know,
Yeah.
Netflix, Hulu,
For sure.
Amazon Prime. You know, you name it. But, like, it's just oversaturated, and there's way more quantity over quality. And with Mando, like, I can kind of understand that criticism in a way, but at the same time, like, Mando is it's a slice of life of a bounty hunter, you know.
Yeah.
And I think they do a good job of showing that, like, what they bounce around. Like, season 1 certainly had some dud episodes, or at least episodes that didn't really
Dudger episodes. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't, like, contribute to the plot much or really, like, move the story along per se. But I think that, you know, this episode was a little bit of that, but I enjoyed it, though. Like Darket said, like, I still enjoyed it. Like, it wasn't exactly what I would want, but I think overall it looked great.
Oh,
the
yeah,
acting-
totally. Yeah.
Big step
the
up. I
sand
think.
quakes. That was just a beautiful sight.
Absolutely.
So, before we get started into this, so Jon Favreau is the director of this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're not working with, like, other directors. Like, he is the visionary of this episode, and gets us into season 2 of this whole thing. We have, like, a little bit of an opening sequence, kind of getting you a feel for, like, what happened last season. But I feel like they picked out certain scenes that made it feel like Mando this season overall is not going to be returning the child to the Jedi. They're trying to kind of, I feel like, push this, like, narrative that, like, he's going to keep him. He's hesitant to give him over to anybody else, which is really against my initial theory of this whole season. I think that Mando will end up giving this is my spoiler, I guess, giving the child
Your
over to
headcanon.
the Jedi, and I think Gideon will eventually take the child over himself, and that'll be the end of the season. That's where I think it's going to end, with a big cliffhanger of Gideon having the child, and Mando kind of being like left out because he gave him off to the Jedi. Whoever that ends up being, like whether Ahsoka's involved here or possibly. Sabine and Rex are kind of involved too, trying to get him to the Jedi faction. Lots of cool stuff early on. Even when the scene opens, first scene, Mando's walking Baby Yoda down this dark road into the city where like we have these glowing red eyes everywhere.
What were those? Do we know?
I don't know. Like I looked it up and I was trying to figure out what those beasts, whatever they are.
I didn't research at all.
Are considered, and there wasn't a whole lot to go off of. Boski, if you're here, he's kind of our go-to for all these kind of background scenes.
There's probably some book that was written in '86 that where they were in a cave or something like that.
Yeah, I couldn't figure it out exactly where it was. I did some like quick research on Wikipedia. Didn't really find much, but they were there. Unidentified, Boski says. We don't even know the planet, so
yeah, that makes it difficult.
Yeah, so when they're walking down the first city street or whatever, I see all this graffiti all over the place, and I think like, first off, is this nod to like Sabine, because she's obviously, we know from her experience in Rebels, all about the art, all about the graffiti.
Yep, that's a big deal.
So I thought like maybe this is like Sabine's area, but that doesn't really kind of play out. Mando goes up to the arena, enters a fighting area with some Gamorreans. They're battling in an intense axe
They're
battle.
using like force vibro weapons or something. I don't know.
That was really cool. Like I didn't even know that was a technology out there, but they're kind of axe battling. We don't see a lot of Gamorreans in the universe overall. A lot of Cretans from all over the galaxy watching the fight, yelling, betting, whatnot. Mando sits next to the guy he's trying to get, Gor Koresh. I don't know if you picked this up, but Gor Koresh is played by John Leguizamo.
Yeah, man, that's.
I did
not pick that up.
I didn't pick it up initially, but when I was doing my research, I'm like, okay, yeah, the voice sounds about right.
I've got a dumb question, but who is that?
Oh, you're good. He's probably most known for he was in the Super Mario's live action movie.
Yeah, you couldn't continue boss.
What he was man, I don't know what you would say.
I can look him up on IMDb later, but
yeah. He plays a lot of like miscellaneous parts. Like he voices somebody in Ice Age, the like chipmunk thing in the Ice Age movies. He's in Spawn. He's the fat clown dude. Okay. He's in Bloodlines season 2.
That's miscellaneous is the correct word. Then.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. I don't know what his best role would be, but as far as I know, it's Luigi from the live action Super Mario Brothers movie. Yeah. That is an absolute atrocity that everybody should watch.
I do think that's the best way to describe him, is with the Luigi cut line.
He's a plumber. He's a plumber.
Yep.
That character really gave me a lot of Trump vibes. I don't know if anyone else got that vibe, like especially when he's running like outside of the he's running away from Mando, trying to get away, like the hair flopping in the wind and just like his body shape. I'm just like, this is. Yeah. I wonder if they're. Maybe not.
Okay, if you're talking, at first when you're talking about the character, I'm like, no, I don't see that. And once you started talking about the physical appearance, no, I do. Like the arms, kind of the belly, the way he runs.
Yeah,
I get where you're going right now.
Just that was one of my thoughts as he's running away. But anyway, go ahead, Darket.
Yeah, so basically the Mando is trying to get information about like, are there other Mandalorians out there that you know of? He's trying to like push Koresh to give him some information. The fight's still going on in the ring. Koresh shoots one of the fighters. Blah blah blah. Eventually, all of the scoundrels who are watching the fight have all their guns on Mando, and it creates a kind of dramatic scene. Eventually, Koresh is like, hey, I know of this other Mandalorian on Mos Pelgo on Tatooine. who you might be interested in. So that's kind of like the whole of scene 1 is like you got these Gamorreans fighting. We get some intense like discussion. Koresh tells him Mos Pelgo is the way to go on Tatooine, and Mando's like, hey, I've never seen any other Mandalorian on Tatooine. I've been there for a little bit. He fights some people.
There's only 3 cities.
Exactly.
Yep.
Stab some people, throw some knives. It's a pretty cool sequence overall, I think. And then the scene kind of ends with Mando tying Koresh up to a light post and letting all these red-eyed beasts devour him, I guess.
I didn't notice the beasts.
Yeah.
He got eaten.
Yeah, he got eaten alive.
I totally
He got eaten, for sure.
Both my wife and I were that missed it went right over our heads. We were like, why is he screaming in agony? Like, is he just really scared of darkness? I don't know what's happening here.
And that's interesting lore-wise, because whatever this creature is, if they do decide to expand, I'm not saying they have to, there's probably some type of connection with light. They won't go into it. And both Mando and Gor Koresh, is that his name?
Gor Koresh, yeah.
They knew instantly once he shot that light that he was a dead man.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think that was a really nice touch, because I don't know if they're ever going to touch on this, but Mando seems to have a really, really deep cultural background.
Yes.
Like, he understands these things from off-worlds. He speaks Jawanese and Tuscanese.
Yeah.
That's one of the like suspensions of disbelief that like you have to have with this series is like, how is he so well-rounded with like his knowledge of like culture, language,
but
all these different planets.
That's normal for an advanced culture.
Well, and he's a a highly experienced bounty hunter. He's had to travel all over the universe.
Oh yeah, there's also that
to accomplish his bounties, and like just from what we've seen, he's met so many people by proxy, just by doing these missions and trying to find these people. Like that, I think that is believable for his character.
Yeah. I would agree so too. That it's fitting, and maybe we'll expand more of that. Maybe that means that's about being a Mandalorian, or maybe that's more just who he is.
Could be.
Right.
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah.
So scene 2, after they leave this unnamed planet, Mando arrives back on Tatooine. He flies over some Tuskens. We see a good scene of the crest. He lands in Hangar 3-5 with our favorite mechanic, Peli Motto, played by Amy Sedaris.
Oh, she's the best, dude.
She's so good, yeah. She sends some droids to work on the crest. She's super excited to see Baby Yoda. She even says, "Thank the Force." At one point, she offers to pay for Baby Yoda's offspring if he ever has a kid of his own.
Mando should have just turned him over at that point.
Made him into a breeding stag. Like. What else are you gonna get?
No, I didn't.
What else are you gonna get out of this? Just
that's what he meant.
I wasn't thinking about a baby mill. I was thinking more about just
that would require a mating partner. So
sure,
that's true.
I think so. Unless they want to, I guess you can't.
Kaminoans can get involved, and they can clone him. Maybe
we should.
I feel like it would really mess with his DNA really quick. We saw that in the Clone Wars. After you clone so many times,
didn't work.
They started to come out kind of weird.
Yeah, copies of copies and whatnot.
A little wonky.
Yeah. So Mando asks Peli Motto for some info on how to get to Mos Pelgo. We see a scene of R5D4, which was super cool. I thought that was fun to see him.
That was a big throwback.
Yeah,
I missed that. R5D4.
Yeah. And
it's
this
the red
time,
droid that explodes in episode 4, yeah?
Yeah, with a bad motivator.
Oh, shit. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. That's
and this
crazy.
time he's got a hollow projector, which I don't think he would have beforehand. I don't know if the motivator got replaced with the hollow projector, but now he's useful, and he shows a map of Tatooine, shows off where Mos Pelgo is, and it's just a fucking podunk town, upcountry, with Tuskens all around. So terrible spot for Mando to have to go to. But
they've got the necessities: bar, and a school.
Sure, yeah, exactly.
That's it.
He at least knows where he's got to go.
The bar for the adults.
Yep.
Get your learn on. You can get drunk. It's good.
Now, one thing before we move on from this scene is they work on Mando's character. when the droids go to fix the machine, it's like, oh, he doesn't like droids. Like, oh, I don't really care.
Yeah.
That's a fruit of IG-11.
IG-11 showing him
in the last season.
Yeah, showing him that like droids aren't all bad. Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm so glad I rewatched at least the last episode of season 1 because that was apparent, with him, IG-11 saving his life
in season 1 that he hates droids, and now we're getting to season 2, and he kind of has a soft spot for him.
Yep.
Great point.
In the next scene, Mando was able to borrow Pelimato's speeder bike like he did in previous episodes. He approaches Mos Pelgo. I thought these creatures were womp rats, but apparently they're not. The StarWars.com calls them scurriers. Mando arrives and gets to see some locals at Mos Pelgo. They're not super excited to see him. He finds his way to the city hall / cantina, which I love. That like the first place that Mando always goes to is the cantina. Yeah. Like that, he's our kind of people. He's a Beero deep down there. So
Mando is a Beero.
Yeah,
it's a classic. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just continuing. Go ahead.
It's a classic trope. Like I'm an avid D&D player. Whenever you want to go to you want to find out information, you always go to the pub.
Totally.
That's where the scuttlebutt is. That's where you got to go. That's where you got to get your information.
Scuttlebutt. That's not a word I hear every day.
Yeah. What a bunch of malarkey.
I mean, it's just where you find out. If you want, you don't go to the school. You don't go to the fucking. Well, I guess that's it.
The news station or whatever.
I don't know what Mos Pelgo has in it.
Yeah,
probably nothing. But one thing's weird that it does have in this, and I'll give credit to my guild mate, Neutron, really cool guy. But he goes into our chat and he's like, "Where the fuck is all the wood coming from?
Yeah,
like you're on a desert planet.
Where's this stuff coming from? I always think of the same thing as like, where are these resources coming from? You guys there's nothing around. Where is it coming from?
Because this is new. Like, if you go back to A New Hope or Phantom Menace, I'm going to talk about that as much as possible. There's not wood in any of the buildings.
Nope.
Like, there are these sand huts.
Yeah.
Right.
And now we get to this episode in Mos Pelgo, and every place just has this nice fancy wood balcony. Like, what is this, Kashyyyk?
It's synthetic. It's synthetic wood, obviously. Like, come on, they have
sandwood
technology of it's sandwood. Everybody knows it. Okay, so they do jump into the cantina. There's a Weequay bartender. He seems cool.
That Weequay is that race has been seen before. Like, the only time I recall seeing it in the Star Wars universe is like as one of Jabba's thugs.
And who? Okay, you have
all
to
of the Clone Wars with Hondo.
Come on, yeah, there it is.
Oh shit, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Naka.
Yeah. He's got
his henchman. Yeah.
That dude's got to be in the game sometime soon. Come on, like he is fucking awesome.
That would be nice.
I've got a theory that when they do put the Razor Crest in as another bounty hunter ship,
that's when we get
soon.
Are we gonna get a Hondo capital ship? You think?
We're gonna get a Hondo scoundrel capital.
That's what I think too. Yeah.
That's gonna be the meta ship.
And we got a real spot for Houndstooth to go.
And it will have Jedi hunting synergy, and it'll finally knock the Negotiator out of the top spot.
Nice.
Oh shit! Ooh. I like it.
You heard it here first. Calvin Awesome.
That's my prediction.
CG Calvin Awesome.
He's got a job with CG now.
CGCA.
All right, so Mando's talking to the Weequay bartender. He asks for somebody that looks like him, and the bartender says, "Oh, the Marshal." And then all of a sudden, because that kind of stuff happens on TV, the Marshal just appears in the doorway, and he's wearing Boba Fett's armor.
Yeah.
He orders up some spotchka and 2 snorts. He then takes his helmet off, which is not the way.
No.
And he says...
This is not the way.
It's not the way. He says, I've never met a real Mandalorian. Real quick, as soon as he takes his helmet off, who's the first celebrity that Timothy Oliphant as Cobb Vanth actually looks like to you?
First celebrity?
Besides himself, who does he look like to you?
The guy who played Thanos. Josh Brolin?
Okay, yeah, he kind of got Josh Brolin.
Looks like a slim Josh Brolin.
Yeah. Immediately, I'm like, he's an older Pierce Brosnan. He looks like Pierce Brosnan. so much with his like kind of white hair.
The Silver Fox.
I
just recognized him as the sleazy guy from The Girl Next Door.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
I was watching a series with my wife about some zombie thing that he's in. He's actually really funny in it too. Something Catalina or something like that. No, that's another thing.
Yeah.
Something Clarita. I guess the name.
One gripe with him when they first showed him, if I may, I guess it's fitting. Like, he doesn't quite fill out the Boba Fett armor.
He does not. Yeah.
No, it's not aesthetically pleasing.
No.
It fits, but it makes sense. It's not his armor. It's not custom tailored to him.
It's not made for him.
Yeah.
But he just looks very. He doesn't look imposing. It looks like a little kid found.
Looks like it is his pajamas. That's what it looked like. Like the red kind of jumpsuit thing he had underneath.
Yeah.
It looked like it was.
Didn't really fit.
Yeah. I mean, I think they wanted to make it clear that they weren't teasing hey, it's Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Right. Hey,
this is
dumbass.
some guy wearing Boba Fett.
It's clearly not his.
Yeah.
It's someone else. Yeah. Right.
Because they make the point clear that this is his armor. Obviously the colors match, but it has the famous ding on the side of it when he puts it down that he got from Cad Bane.
Yeah.
That was.
And the Mando
his armor
imprint. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a mythosaur?
Mythosaur. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
all right, anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to.
He's the marshal. He introduces himself by name as Cobb Vanth. This is a character who's been in the expanded universe. Boski can correct me wherever I'm wrong. He recently did an episode on the Spice Den about Cobb Vanth and about this episode. So
I think he was in the Aftermath books.
Okay, yeah. So make sure you check out the Spice Den for that info.
Because
he's definitely more informed, I think, than we are. We're drunk. We're drunk and talking about
encyclopedia.
Yeah, we're drunk and talking about this episode, but
thespiceden.com.
Yeah, thespiceden.com has all the good stuff. Basically, the two of them, so Mando and Cobb Vanth, basically assume they're about to fight to the death. Tensions are rising. There's a dramatic stare down. I love dramatic stare down so much.
They're both erect. It's just a weird scene.
They're definitely all erect. Is the weak way
erect?
But
if you want to jump off at any point, man, it's totally fine. I'm
good.
Okay.
All of this drama, though, is kind of interrupted by a big old fucking scary subterranean monster that's making its way down the center of Mos Pelgo. Which we learn
again. That's how movies work.
Yeah, which we learn later is the Crate Dragon, and Brick knows a little bit more about the Crate Dragon than I do because he has a little bit of experience with this kind of creature in his time with Star Wars Galaxies.
Yes.
So what do you know?
So I wish we had transitional music, which would be it would be whimsical and I don't know, transition-y. But when I played Star Wars Galaxies, the multi-massive online role-playing game from 2003 or 4, I think it was 3, Crate Dragons were a big part of that game because I remember one of my first memories in the game is there was a raid of 40 people or something like that that went and found a Crate Dragon on Tatooine. It's an open-world game, so it's this huge... open world game like Skyrim or one of those similar types of games, and we found a Crate Dragon. It was just terrorizing the town, killing people. It took hours to slay this thing, and finally when we killed it, and I ninja looted the thing. I looted the corpse of this Crate Dragon. I got all.
Did you get the pearl?
Which was a real bastard move. I think I did, and I probably squandered it. It probably
you didn't know what it was worth.
I didn't know what I had.
Shiny.
Yeah, cool. I got the shiny thing.
Did you go? I can't make the noises of the Tuscans.
But later in my career in Star Wars Galaxies, I was actually able to solo a Crate Dragon because I became a master swordsman and a master medic. And what
That's
you
when
could do,
you've arrived.
Oh yeah, you could do so much damage to it. Like you use this giant power hammer, it was called. And you stack a bleeding.
Very Star Warsy power hammer.
You put a bleeding debuff on the crate dragon, and it just bleeds out, and it takes
like max health damage or something like that.
Pretty much, yeah. Like it was kind of like a damage over time effect. So just like it just kept reducing its health, and it took a long time. And then with the master doctor profession, you can just heal yourself back up. So I actually was able to solo one at one time, and I really like the aesthetic of the crate dragon in Star Wars Galaxies. I thought it was a really cool design of a real cool take on a dragon. It was a flightless giant lizard, essentially. Very different than what was portrayed in the Mandalorian, which was more of like a tremors, a giant tremor creature.
Like a Leviathan was one of the words they used, and if you look those up, it's very similar to Sand Leviathan.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it is.
Yep.
I haven't watched the movie Dune either, which I would imagine a giant.
There have been so many references about tremors and Dune in my Discord, and I understand nothing. Like,
I understand they're sandworms, and they're called the Shahalud because that's a hardcore band that I like.
Yeah, Shahalud.
But anyway, I digress. Sorry, go ahead. That was my tangent on Star Wars Galaxies. Again, Calvin, if you want to jump the fuck off.
No, I was actually gonna jump in. If you guys don't mind.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Now, because the crate dragon, like I knew, I watched these with my wife because Baby Yoda did all of us that favor with our spouses.
Let's bring the spouses in.
Yeah, and we're watching this, and I'm like, is this what I think it is? And then at one point, its head pops up. I'm like, what is this? A shark? And then as it progresses, I'm like, oh, this is a crate dragon. And the crate dragons, I don't know if they've ever actually made any appearances in, I don't know, like maybe books or comics. I would imagine so. But they pop up in video games all the time.
Yeah.
Like I played, maybe embarrassing, Star Wars Commander. It was like another mobile game from Star Wars that died. And they had
I think Solo played that, didn't he? I think he talked
possible,
about that before. Yeah.
But I won't go into the game at all. But it had one at one point you had to fight off. I'm pretty sure it was kind of cool. I played Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds. That also would have the big game. And maybe I should save this for later. But the big game. Did either of you play Knights of the Old Republic?
I played it vaguely, like just for a little while.
I feel like I should have, but I didn't play it. No.
Because there's one in Knights of the Old Republic, and it's almost like, again, maybe I should say this for later, but the Mandalorian, Jon Favreau, who just stole a page right out of KOTOR and added to it.
Oh, okay.
Well, so I'll get to that later, but I've seen this before, but the new burrowing idea, I'll take it.
So Curtis said, first appearance that I know of in chat was the Star Wars collectible card game made back in the 90s.
Of course.
Yeah,
Always
first appearance of the crate dragon. Interesting.
I don't doubt at all.
So kind of at the end of this scene, the two decide that the crate dragon's too much to take on alone, and Cobb Vanth makes a deal with Mando that he will give the Mandalorian armor to Mando if he helps him kill the dragon. So I think that's a pretty good deal overall. We go into a new scene where Mando and Cobb Vanth are riding off into the lair of the dragon. First reaction here, we have Mando on, obviously, Pelimato's bike, but Cobb Vanth is riding...
What's he on?
Is riding a bike made out of, I think, Anakin's old pod racer engine.
Yeah, the left turbine or the left engine, I think.
Wow. Yeah. It sounds like it. It looks like it. So that was pretty cool to see. I definitely feel like there's some OGs in the Star Wars universe trying to make us feel happy about
some
that.
Fan service.
Yeah, some fan service, but it's good fan service. It's not that like shitty fan service that you see sometimes in like the sequel series where it's like, here's Chewie and R2-D2. It's like, here's a good thing. Here's a good thing that like you guys actually like to see. So I was happy about that.
Boski makes a great point. First appearance is A New Hope in the form of a skeleton.
Oh, that's true,
dragon.
actually, yeah.
Yeah, dude. And to touch on it again in Star Wars Galaxies, the loot from a crate dragon you could make weapons from. So like the bones, I believe the hide. Like you could farm the resources of the crate dragon, and they were very very valuable resources and rare as well. Darket skipped out, but he'll be back. So, you could make what was really cool about Star Wars Galaxies. I'll pontificate while he's gone. It's not a problem. It's kind of in my nature.
That's a good word.
But so you could use the resources that you would accumulate from killing a crate dragon to make really amazing armor. And essentially what it boiled down to in Star Wars Galaxies is you had probability. So if you started as an armor crafter, exactly, it was RNG. But if you started with better base, it'd kind of be like starting with a gray mod that already has 9 speed on it or something, and then slicing it up from there. So you're starting with a really good foundation, and hoping to get more rolls and accumulate better stats down the way. And there was slicing. There was actually a profession in Star Wars Galaxies as a slicer. So you could take weapons and armor and roll essentially on them if you had the proper materials to make them better, to improve them. And there was RNG in it. And it was totally RNG. There was witchcraft that oh yeah, these slicing
it might break your equipment or it might make it better.
Exactly. Oh yeah, totally. You can make something worse even, or break it, like you said. And that was one of my professions in the game. I was a slicer. I was a weapon slicer, and I worked for an armor smith. And he'd say, "Yeah, you've got access to the inventory. Just go ahead, and I'll pay you, whatever." And he'd make a huge profit off of it. But I digress. Go ahead, Darket.
So what are we on? We're on scene 4 now, right? So
sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So we got Mando and Vanth riding off. They're on speeder bikes. Blah blah blah. Vanth gives some backstory of how the Empire fell in Tatooine, but Mos Pelgo was overtaken by the mining collective.
I loved this scene.
Yeah, that was a cool kind of callback of all this stuff, because you don't really see how this affects the everyday people.
You never see it. You watch the Empire fall on TV. You never see anything like that.
Yeah,
and that's actually really important for the First Order, because I don't know if either of you guys watched the Resistance series.
Not yet. We're going to. We're doing a chronological viewing of all Star Wars content, so we will watch it eventually.
Yeah.
Because one of the points of it is, though, they show how the First Order rose to power, because there was a lot of that kind of thing happening in the galaxy. There were these random guilds or collectives or gangs or pirates that were just causing mayhem because there was no Empire to keep them in check anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh.
So Vanth is talking about how he's kind of watching this all happen. He steals an ice cream machine full of crystals. I can't even know. He walks all the way through the desert. He staggers and dies. I felt like the scene was really cheesy of him walking through the desert and then staggering and falling over. I was like, okay, a little much.
What makes you turn your feet inward?
Exactly. I was like, what's going on here? But
he was very lean, though. I mean, it explains why the armor doesn't fit him very well.
It was that. He was starved.
Yeah,
definitely
dehydrated.
But within 3 minutes, Jawas arrive, and he's saved by the Jawas.
They always do, those bastards.
Which was kind of cool to see how unlikely that would be, to have yourself saved by Jawas. The Jawas love his crystals. They try to offer up an astromech droid, parts. Vanth sees the Mandalorian armor of Boba Fett, and then he eventually does convince them and returns to Mos Pelgo wearing the armor of Boba Fett, and he pushes the mining collective out of Mos Pelgo.
Yeah.
He even looks like Boba Fett when he's shooting. He's got a very similar way of brandishing, I guess, a firearm. It was kind of cool. So the mining collective is, I guess, scared of this Mandalorian guy coming in here. They all escape. They try to get onto a transport vehicle, and he uses his missile off of his back and shoots down the escapees. So that was kind of fun to see. So
that was great, because that was. I mean, they kind of did that with Jango Fett in episode 2.
Yeah.
That was one of the things, what's this giant rocket on Boba Fett's jetpack supposed to do? Because we don't see that in the original trilogy.
No, yeah.
And they were limited with special effects, but that That was really, really cool to see, because even though it wasn't Boba Fett, I mean, that's what it would look like.
Yeah, for sure. So when this whole thing is kind of going on, you see a little bit of like how he's adapting to like the technology, but he definitely like kind of adapts to the Mandalorian armor. Like I said earlier, he looks like Boba Fett. Kind of right after they kind of exit the scene of them doing this this recap, this callback, and they get near the home of the Tuskens where they're trying to get to, and they're met with some, I guess, dino dogs known as mastiffs. So mastiffs are these creatures who are approaching.
That's a thing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, who are approaching the two when they're trying to reach the Tusken settlement. I don't know much about mastiffs overall. This is the first time of like my encounters with them.
I think they're an Attack of the Clones when Anakin goes to kill not just the men, but the women and the children.
Okay.
Good point.
Yeah.
They're also there, but they don't do anything.
Yeah, sure. They're kind of like background characters.
They die.
Yeah.
They die, along with the women and the men and the children.
So
Sandy gets everywhere.
Mando speaks to these mastiffs in Tusken, causing the beast to act a little bit friendly towards him, and then they one runs up to him. He kind of pets him like a dog, which is kind of cute.
The translation in Tusken was "good dag." That's what he said.
Good dag. Yeah. But it is cool to kind of see like Mando using a different kind of like technique than just outright killing beasts to kind of make his way about. He then approaches the actual Tuskens. Vanth is trying to figure out what's going on. Real quick, I feel like overall Cobb Vanth is a little bit racist. You guys getting this vibe? He's not really too into like feeling out other cultures besides his own. He's obviously very hesitant towards accepting Tuskens as a civilized society. Honestly, when I look back at him and how he talks to even the bartender, he calls him Weequay. He doesn't even call him by his name. I feel like he's very dismissive about like anything besides himself. So I feel like Cobb Vanth, borderline racist.
Borderline racist. No, but I think this speaks more about Mando's character than it does Cobb's, because this was something we saw with old Ben and Luke in episode 4 as well.
Yeah.
Or in episode 2, when Anakin talked with his like step family, they're savages.
Yeah.
That's the reputation of the Star Wars universe.
Yep.
And then Mando's the first one that actually considers them
like, no, they're all right.
Their lives matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Tusken lives matter.
Yeah, and he's explaining like, that when eventually, I guess I'm getting ahead of. I always do this. I always jump way ahead.
You're good.
Where Tusken, he says like the Tuskens are savages, but so are the Dune Seas or something along those lines. Like, it's a great point. I mean, they live a hard life, and they are quote unquote savages because they've
had to adapt to this terrible, extreme kind of condition.
Nomads in the fucking bullshit desert.
For sure, and there's not a lot of resources there for them to go off of. Like they have to
now they don't have any wood.
Yep.
Nope. No wood. They're woodless.
I'll give props to again Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau for this, because they didn't completely take away from their characters. They didn't just try to humanize them like, oh, these guys were the good guys all along. No, they are raiders.
Yeah.
Like, they will kill you. This is their identity, but they're more than that.
Yeah, I think like this episode really does a nice job of like, at least they're not necessarily like completely humanizing them, but they're creating some nuance to where you want to know more about like where they come from and like what makes them tick. Which is a nice thing to see in Star Wars, where like you don't always see that. It's always kind of this like black and white, one note kind of thing. And I think this series does a nice job of trying to like approach that nuance. I think Rogue One does the kind of the same thing with like you look at like the Empire, it's like it's not all bad. There's some good stuff going on there, you know? Like there's nuance in this whole universe that we need to tap into and like understand. And I think this is an attempt at that with Favreau trying to show the Tuskens is like it's not all savagery, you know? Like there's some civilization here that we need to realize. And I think it starts with like the Massifs, you know? They're not these scary creatures. And then it gets farther into like, you know, you're sitting around a fire with these guys. You're realizing like their culture a little bit, and that you can work together to get to the same point. You know, like you're all trying to like go against the same enemy here with this Krayt dragon. You can work together on this. You know,
have a common goal.
Exactly. So.
Nothing brings people together like a common enemy.
Exactly. Yep. Next scene, the group. So this is like Mando, Cobb Vanth, the Tuskens. They're riding in on a bunch of banthas near an old Sarlacc pit. They're kind of getting a feel for like what's going on here. Apparently, the Krayt dragon ate a Sarlacc to take over this pit as like its home, which was kind of crazy.
Cobb Vanth's like, nobody would live in a Sarlacc pit or something like that.
No, they wouldn't be. It wouldn't be abandoned. Yeah.
There's no abandoned Sarlacc pits.
Oh, if you eat it.
Unless you eat it.
And if you look at the anatomy of a Sarlacc, it's kind of interesting what it actually looks like. There's like this little, well, it's not little, this giant fucking creature at the bottom of a sand pit. It just like has its mouth open.
Yeah, it's crazy. Just waiting for food. It's like, really? That's the thing? You're just waiting for food?
Do you guys know what ant lions are?
Yeah.
No.
It's like a giant ant lion.
It's crazy.
I'm gonna look that up. Ant lion.
It's a really small insect, and pretty much they dig a small hole in the sand and they wait for ants to fall into it and they eat them.
Oh wow, that thing's creepy looking.
It's nuts.
Yeesh.
Back on scene 5.
Bugs are nuts. Let's talk about bugs for an hour. What do you guys think?
The group is trying.
Galaxy of Buggos.
I like it. The group is trying to bait the dragon out with a bantha, which goes fucking super according to plan. No Tuskens are injured in this situation, but like. So the dragon comes out and only eats the one Tusken and leaves the bantha behind. Like, what's going on here?
Who's comical?
Who's running the planning process here? So Mando's like, I think we need a new plan. So they go back, Mos Pelgo, blah blah blah. They have a town hall meeting. Cobb Vanth is introducing Mando to him. A lot of stuff's going on. Basically, what's going on is they're telling the townspeople of Mos Pelgo that, hey, we're going to have to ally with the Sand People, with the Tuskens, work together, and defeat this
Trying to take our gerbs.
Destroy. They took our gerbs. They got to try to destroy the Krayt dragon together. There's some drama here and there. One person drops a bomb. No big deal.
I hated that scene. That fucking guy.
It's explosive.
Like, hey, what are you trying to do? Blow up the whole plate? Yeah, he's trying to blow up the whole plate. Like, just that they're trying to take our germs. I don't know. It just like it seemed very cliche.
He's trying to kill himself and us together. Like it didn't really make sense.
Right.
That whole sequence, I was like, all right, I don't really need this whole thing.
Cringeworthy. Like, I don't need to try to understand this moron's emotions. Okay, like we could just skip this.
I did like the drama of like the Tuskens coming into Mos Pelgo. That was kind of a cool scene.
Cool, yeah.
Like the music was playing up, like how they're a little bit
they're
scary.
Rolling in their banthas.
Yeah, we don't really know what they're about.
Did you see how they were rolling in?
I did.
Single file.
Single file,
yeah,
exactly.
Single file,
to hide their numbers.
Yep. There's a lot of stuff going on here with the preempt to the whole fight scene, but scene 7 basically is the fight, you know, like the Tuskens, the Mos Pelgans, they are going in to the settlement, the cave, I guess, of the Krayt dragon, and they're trying to destroy the whole thing. Lots of stuff goes on. People are exchanging stuff. I don't know. I have a lot of notes here that I'm trying to skip over.
Darket, I feel like you're on like half speed. Like somebody just like took the speed dial for you. Like on a podcast, you can like slow it down.
I've had half a bottle of wine and 6 beers at this point. What do you expect out of me, Brick?
I thought it was your latency at first, and then I'm like,
it's not. No, I'm just slow drunkenness.
It's great. It's all right. I love you. It's all good.
There's a lot of cool action going on back and forth with them trying to lure the dragon out of its lair. They eventually get some ropes on the dragon, right? Try to pull it out.
Yeah.
It tries to
harpoon him.
They tried to harpoon a fucking
with the wooden catapults.
What do we got going on? So we got wooden catapults and like 3 or 4 Tuskens with like 1 Moss Pelgan. What's that going to achieve?
Like, it was only Tusken.
Yeah, it's not going to achieve too much.
The ultimate sacrifice. They went to the Tatooine forest in their defense to get those harpoon.
But the Moss Pelgans are like just like standing around. They're doing absolutely fucking nothing.
They throw grenades.
The Tuskens are doing all the work.
Like a Molotov or something like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're gonna really take out a fucking crate dragon with a Molotov cocktail, you fucking moron.
No, okay. But the cool going back to the KOTOR thing about Knights of the Old Republic, this scene is almost identical. Like you need to beat a crate dragon for a reason of the game, and I think you have to get the help of the Tuskens and some other some townspeople nearby. And it's this whole plan of you get a bantha, you set it in front, you lure the dragon over the mine, and you kill it.
Oh yeah, Brill just said that in chat too a little bit before you. That makes sense.
So much like KOTOR.
Oh no,
it's literally identical.
I mean, he just kind of like cited it, but like didn't explain it. So that makes total sense. Wow.
But I guess the fan service mixed with like the new offering something new it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like I was talking to my wife about who has not played KOTOR, and I'm like, okay, yeah, they're gonna blow up the mines now, and then it blows up. I'm like, okay, never mind, that didn't work.
Like it really confirms that Favreau like definitely was a KOTOR fan and like probably played Star Wars Galaxies. I always wondered about that. Like you're gaming with people and they're just they just have some stupid name.
You've been playing with Jon Favreau the whole time,
right? You're your best pal in the game. Yeah, you don't know.
Or maybe before Jon Favreau was Jon Favreau.
Right. There's so much content that has not seen the light of day in the Star Wars universe still. Like the Night Sisters really haven't got their due, in the cartoon, And
nobody cares though, so nobody wants to really
Wars,
see that.
They were a big deal. They were a big deal in the Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Fallen Order hit them a little bit, but I honestly didn't even know all of that. I didn't know that they were in the expanded universe until like last week.
Yeah, I missed that Fallen Order game. I need to check that out. That's very Night Sister centric, or at least there's a part of it that's
there's a good chunk.
Anyway, go ahead, Darket.
I was gonna say there's like some kind of cool like exchanges during this whole like fight sequence. I personally like the line of Mando saying, "Dank Ferric, it's going back in." Like, what the fuck does Dank Ferric mean?
Couldn't tell you.
It's kind of like Joe Biden when he says malarkey. I don't know if that's like an old man kind of thing, but
it's a dated reference.
It's a dated reference.
Yeah. Man is just showing us how old he is.
I think overall the like whole idea of Mando pushing Cobb Vanth off by like knocking his jetpack off, and then basically just setting himself up as bait to get eaten by the Krayt Dragon, and then the whole idea of the like he's bringing the Bantha in, I guess stunning the inside of the dragon.
That was new.
That's
actually also
pretty cool.
That's in the animation of our new our app art or whatever you want to call it. Like if you pay attention to it, it's Mando with the gun and there's an electricity sign or leaving the gun.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
The icon, eh?
Yeah, the icon. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah. And then just blows the fucking crate dragon up, which was so sweet.
Yeah, you're waiting for Mando to get involved. Like, other than trying to persuade the townspeople, he really hasn't done
Just
jack
watching
shit.
the Tuscans die.
Yeah, he's basically setting up everybody else to do all the work, and he's just kind of standing back for the most part.
He's like, that translates to, who's your dumbest Tuscan? Who's the one that you would want to die first?
Who do you not give a
Who's
shit
the bottom
about?
of the pack?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's send him out with the bantha.
Yep.
How about that?
Yep. But crate dragon explodes, falls down, blah blah blah. The Tuscans kind of jump in and harvest all the stuff, all the meat, all the bones.
Mando gets a nice steak.
Yeah. He does take a nice piece of meat, which is like, what's going on there? But the
Baby Yoda eats frogs whole. So
he does,
it's not going to waste.
Is it just Baby Yoda food? I think I don't know.
Maybe.
This is gonna feed Baby Yoda for 2 months.
Yeah. The Tuscans do harvest a crate dragon pearl.
Yeah, that was nice.
It's just pretty important, I think.
Yeah, why don't you elaborate on that?
Calvin, you know anything about the crate dragon pearls at all?
I did at one point. I don't remember now. I just know that they're like super, super valuable. Like the only information I had was from KOTOR 1.
Yeah.
Where it's like it was the highest bounty price of any hunter.
Yeah, it's like
that.
the one of the highest like valued things that you can get. They say that the pearls itself, like depending on how old the dragon is, can have tons of different resources within the pearl. They say depending on the age of the dragon, that the pearls can even hold kyber crystals.
That's really weird.
Yeah, no kidding. So like, I don't know if like that's something that like will develop in the story
that has
or not.
To do with like Darth Crate or something like that, like the Tuscan Sith Lord or whatever that was.
Yeah, that's possible. I'm not quite sure.
I don't know enough about him though.
Yeah, but yeah. So the pearls itself form around. I guess I heard what I read was that they were like digesting like stones and rocks, and then those can be refined into kyber crystals within the pearl. So like when this Tuscan grabs this pearl out and like holds it up and everybody's all excited, I first thought that it was like some kind of egg. I didn't really know a whole lot about it, but like I heard
you've got a baby dragon.
Yeah,
baby
like I was like,
dragon.
yeah, baby dragon maybe. But yeah, turns out that possibly could be kyber crystals within it. So that's pretty important.
Especially with them blowing up the Kyber Crystal Planet in Episode 7. Mm-hmm. Way to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So overall, I would say episode was a lot. There was a lot going on. It was not what I expected to see in the first episode. I thought we would see a lot of these like characters that like developed near the end of season 1. I thought Moff Gideon wouldn't be involved. I really thought some of these new characters would be there at some point. Maybe not all of them, but
are you forgetting one scene?
Oh yeah, the end scene was huge. Yeah, you good call. So there's a scene where obviously Cobb Vanth does realize he has to give back the armor to the Mandalorian. He does ride off on his speeder bike, and we see a ominous character in the forefront, played by Tamira Morrison, who knows what character he could be. He could be Boba Fett. He could be Old Man Rex.
Well, according to IMDb, he's playing Boba Fett.
It seems like Boba Fett would be the sound choice because of the age, I guess. But yeah.
Also because of the last time we saw Boba Fett, he was on Tatooine.
Yeah. Yep. He is.
So that would indicate the implication there is that he did not die when he fell into the Sarlacc.
Yeah.
That's expanded universe though. That was always the case. And I'm not an expert on this, but if I remember correctly, when he does recover, he actually goes and looks up Jango Fett's old Mandalorian family past and ends up finding a clan. Like he becomes a Mandalorian.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I don't know if we're going to see that, but I believe that is a part of his arc in the expanded universe.
That'd be tight.
He's pretty messed up though when you see him too. He's like
Oh,
scarred. He's bald. He's looking pretty.
He's been through some shit.
He's been through some shit. He's got a Gandarifi stick. I was hoping that when we first saw that Tamir Morrison was in this, I was hoping for Old Man Rex to be involved, but we might still see that. But I guess whatever. Boba Fett's cool.
I have a hunch that the reason why they messed up his face, gave him scars and whatnot that we haven't seen anywhere before, was so they could differentiate when we do get Rex.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be the same actor.
Sure, yeah.
Good point. It's interesting. We'll see. He's watching. He was spectating the whole thing. So
yeah, there's that's a whole nother topic. Like, why didn't Boba take back his armor? Why does he have Tusken stuff?
Yeah.
What is he still doing on Tatooine? Like,
yeah, maybe he wanted to
there's a
forget
lot
who
of
he
questions
was.
there.
Maybe maybe he realized that that he didn't want to go along with the Empire's plans, and maybe he's more light side oriented. Maybe he's had some time to think about some shit.
Because he's carrying like a Gator Feast stick. Like that's a Tusken weapon, right?
Yeah, he's all Tuskened up.
Yeah,
like he both the rifle he has as well is a signature Tusken weapon.
And seeing and him witnessing Mando have these townspeople work alongside of Tuskens would indicate that he's somebody who leverages or can make different groups of people work with one another and maybe garner respect from Boba Fett, perhaps, or maybe that outweighs. Maybe he did take note of the child, maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. There's about 10 different directions they could probably go with him. I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah.
Do you guys see any significance with like the Kyber possibly within the Pearl? Like, do you think this can be a onset of Baby Yoda getting a Kyber crystal?
Considering it stayed with the Tuskens, I'm gonna go with no.
No, yeah.
That was part of the deal that they had to keep it.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Not many crate dragons around though, so who knows?
Nah, that might be one of those things that they come back to maybe season 3 or something like that.
Sure.
Because we know they kind of have the tendency to do that. We've seen you guys said the actress name, the woman on Tatooine. She came back. We know that the blue guy from the first episode is going to come back. Maybe they come back to it like, hey, we need a Kyber crystal. Tuskens have one. Let's go talk to him.
Yeah, maybe.
I can see that.
A lot of possibilities.
Yep.
Let's go back to Tatooine for who knows how many times.
Sure, that's how it is.
Another side story. Why not?
Yeah.
I enjoyed it though. It was a fun watch for me. My wife did not enjoy it as much as I did because she didn't have the history of the crate dragon and didn't really. She was kind of her expectations were a little different than what mine were. Like I understand that it's like a slice in the life of a Mandalorian, and that's kind of what we got. Where you can't have pure plot advancement every single episode, but in a way, this was kind of plot advancement in that Mando was on a quest to try and return the child to its proper owner, but kind of got
it was pretty side questy.
Yeah. I don't know if it was the best idea for a first episode in a season necessarily, but I had fun watching it. But I think the average fan might be a little bit lost. So
I'm the only I think the biggest significance that I see outside of Boba Fett being introduced was this was kind of the first time that Mando was kicking ass, completely. Like in season 1, there's a point where Cara Dune bails him out. There's a point where Baby Yoda bails him out. The last episode, IG-11 bails him out. This time it was Mando bailing out Cobb Vanth.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
It's advancing his character, I guess you could say.
I want to see more Cobb Vanth, honestly. I think he was a cool character without Mando armor. Timothy Olyphant is a great actor in general. I think he really played this part up. I would love to see more of him. I think he fits really well in the universe. So I don't know. They kind of like hint at maybe our paths will cross again, but who knows?
I don't know.
I would give this a out of 7 stars, a solid 4.5 star rating. It was fun to watch. I enjoyed it. I again watched it 3 times without feeling like I was choring to get it done. But at the same time, I do worry about like the average fan watching this.
Yeah, I'd probably go 5 stars. I thought the cinematography was really good, and I enjoyed watching it. I guess. How about you, Cal?
I give it 5 too. Like I again, and maybe this is my own fault, but I had a pretty big expectation of the plot, like what's happening with Gideon, what's happening with the Jedi, what's happening with this, and so that right there knocked a star for me. And then I will admit, as much as I love it and Star Wars is full of it, there were a few scenes that was just like that just wasn't filmed right.
Yeah.
Like the with Cobb Vanth stumbling through the desert, it just looked bad.
Yeah, it did look bad.
Yeah. There were some shots that looked pretty bad, like when Mando first enters
Maspelga.
What is it? Yeah, like the CGI looked pretty rough.
Yeah.
But I would say overall, like all that budget went to the Crate Dragon to make it look awesome.
Oh yeah, I actually thought the same thing. I was like, okay, this is kind of weird. And the Crate Dragon's like a 10 out of 10. It's like, okay, maybe that's
yeah. That thing looked fucking awesome.
Right, they nailed it.
Yep.
Agreed.
Well, that's about it, eh?
That is it. Yep.
That is it, eh?
That's the episode.
Calvin, thanks for joining us, man. That was a lot of fun.
Thanks for having me. Great time.
Awesome. We're glad to have you. Anytime you want to come back, you're more than welcome. Check his stuff out. Calvin Awesome. He's got a YouTube page. Twitch is his main baby. We put links in the show notes if you're listening to this only, and then also in the Twitch we have links to it and a Discord server too. So
yep.
And you call it Calvin's Classroom, which is accurate, man. You explain things in a very succinct way that I think people it's palatable. People can chew on it and apply it right away. And if you haven't committed to GAC lock, check Calvin's stuff out and see if it can help you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I thanks, guys. I appreciate it. And I had a lot of fun. So
good, man. We're glad we didn't bore you to death with
talking Star Wars is always a good time, especially with some alcohol involved.
So what do you want to do, Darket? Do you want to raid Operation Metaverse is actually
really
Gom is streaming right now. Do you want to raid him?
Yeah, how do we raid from our stream? I
Gom's
still don't know how to do this.
Is this a thing?
Yeah, you did it last time.
Did I? We should go into the website itself.
Yeah, let me see. Video producer. That's not it. Broadcasting.
Oh, he's in the Dooku mission right now as well.
Oh, nice. We'll bummer.
Give me 10 seconds, and I'll be ready to raid into them.
Stream manager. Oh yeah, raid channel. Here we go.
You got it.
Raid channel. All right, we're gonna raid Operation Metaverse.
Let's do it.
We're gonna see good old Maurice. Well, thanks again, Calvin. We appreciate it, man.
You're welcome.
Gonna continue to follow your stuff, and good luck in 3v3, man. Thanks a lot.
Same to you guys. Have a good night.
You too, buddy.
Bye.
See ya. Join the raid, y'all. We got three viewers.
Galaxy of Beeroes is rating with Brick, Hardmeat, Darth, Darket, and Boski.
Yeah. Yes. And Gum is not going to pick up on it because Gum is not reading chat, it would appear. Prime Force we got. Okay.
What episode are we on? 54?
56.
56. God damn.
Dude, Operation Metaverse is only getting 33 stars. So we're not that bad.
Getting close. 30 stars
30
is
stars.
fucking huge for like our
Dude,
GP.
They're like as maxed as you can get.
That's awesome. I'm really drunk right now, by the way.
I know. It's awesome.
I totally tore up my cork. I don't know if you can see this, but
I see it.
yeah. So I see 3 viewers. Is that it?
Yeah. He said, thanks for the raid.
It's quality over quality.
Hey, he's pulling up his yeah. He said he's using our koozie.
Nice. Who's that good old Maurice?
Yeah.
I still haven't sent out Paul and Nev. They're still sitting here in the office. I feel bad.
Well,
They'll
you guys
get
have
there.
been busy.
They'll get there eventually.
Nice. He said he's been using it for the last few weeks.
Dope.
Nice. Yeah, so he used the same. Oh no, he used Newt. My Newt sucks in the Dooku mission. So this is it's tough even for him. He's on the second wave. He made it past the first one, so that's good.
Yeah.
Just sucks you got to use a Dooku lead with droids.
Kind of lame.
I don't know.
Makes sense.
Yeah. You don't even get to utilize the fucking Dooku lead. Like,
yeah.
Dooku applies healing immunity when they get under 100% health. You got to chew through all that protection before you can do jack shit. You know?
Right.
Yeah, my Dooku or my Newt, I think on Brick Hardmeat is only like gear 10, maybe, that's a problem.
It's not good. I think I got him gear 12 on my main. I made top 10 in Sith though, with just auto wing.
Look at you. Let me see. You know what? I'm gonna see what my rewards are. Let's see where I ranked. I ranked 17th. Oh, my rewards aren't even showing up. I'm drunk too. Oh, dude, I got way better rewards than I would have if top 10.
Hell yeah.
I got 20 of something I need. I got 16 of something I need and 25 of something I don't need actually.
Well, that's cool though.
I still got something I need. Oh, and a fully crafted Mark IV Cinar Holer projector.
You were the lowest level contributor to putting any damage up.
Hey, don't fucking talk to me like that, all right?
You were doing the hard interrogation though, so it's cool.
Hard bottom, yeah. Man, I always feel like I feel bad when we do interviews because I feel like I just fucking talk so much.
Yeah.